Victor joined the rest just after Aramis had slain the woman, and the group demanded an explanation from the mysterious bard. Aramis explained that his deal with Zolos required him to act as a hand of justice, delivering punishment to the wicked at the god's request. I have been concerned about this, considering what I've researched about Zolos himself. A god who is often seen as taking their domain too far, he recruits those that are desperate to avenge the fallen and turns them into weapons for his will to punish those deemed as evil. Aramis' story seems to be the same. He had a quiet life in a circus group on the rise to rival the Ruby Oasis in entertainment, only to have his family and his partner cut down by a group known as the Bloodflame Serpent. Consumed by despair, he accepted Zolos' call to help rid him of those that destroyed his home once and for all. This understanding helped the party come to terms with the act they witnessed, and together the Watch helped Aramis dispose of the body by burning it to ash. Once the grim task was complete, they convened to discuss the matter of the other gangs belonging to the Kraken's Maw network. Madame Talvain's task only required the removal of the gang accosting the children in her care, but the Watch decided that removing all associated gangs would be a boon to Southport as a whole. With that, they hatched a plan to invite all 4 gang leaders to a meeting under the guise of the Minotaur Altaros, hoping to round up and fell the leadership in one swoop. To that end, Victor forged 4 notes as best he could from a member of Altaros' group before taking it to a contact he mentioned could aid them. Victor assured the party that this contact would be able to get the word to the various leaders for a price. Then the 4 met at the Bilge Pump Tavern in the lower district, spending some time resting and preparing for the coming fight. It was during this that Aramis spoke of his past with Zolos and his life, opening up too about having been sent to the Watch to aid Victor per the 8 Rings request. I believe he was hoping to drop this last piece of knowledge just before the scheduled meeting time of midnight to avoid any follow-up questions from Victor for a time. But nobody showed up. Concern turned to full worry as Aramis received a minor message from his god, an omen that not everything was as it should be. Desperate, Victor led the party to a tannery owned by his contact, Memin Basha. The place was empty and there were no signs of a break-in, though Victor was able to find a map with circled locations of the 4 areas where the gangs resided. With no other leads, the party went to the closest one at the docks. I'll spare you the gruesome details of the next half hour, Miss Ferricu. I know death is no stranger to you by now, but this was more than that. The bodies of the dead were flayed and displayed, and each location was trapped to cause more destruction to those that found the grisly scenes. Only one constant remained through all these scenes. Each was marked with the same symbol, a serpent winding around a diamond pierced by an arrow, the symbol that Aramis easily recognized as that of the Bloodflame Serpents. The party panicked, moving from location to location and trying to find those responsible. They even found Memin hanging from the 3rd scene, as dead as the rest, but the night was just beginning. Screams tore through all of Southport, suddenly and violently, as groups began to march through the streets in a cavalcade of death. You may have already heard the whispers of it circling the rumor mill, should you be near a city or town. They are calling it the Night of Carnage, and everyone is now on high alert to prevent it from striking their town as well. The Bloodflame Serpents led a coordinated attack against the city of Southport, killing many and destroying as much as they could. The Wayward Watch raced to save who they could, fighting against a carnival of chaos, large beasts, and even a dragonborn that Aramis used to know, an old member of his circus group brought back from the dead and given dark power. There does not seem to be any rhyme or reason to the group's signature style or magic. I have reports of undead marching in the streets, elementals rampaging against the docks, dark wizards flooding homes with noxious gas, even priestesses of evil gods wielding their powers on the unsuspecting and innocent. Among them were more mundane methods of murder and torture, but it is all so disorganized it does not feel like the same group. But yet they all bore the symbol of the serpent. Even the tower wasn't spared their wrath, though we fared better than most. Helm managed to handle the group that came to vandalize and burn the garden, while I locked the tower down using Tuscadia's old charms. I'm grateful they still work, as our defenses beyond that are fairly limited. I know your instincts, Eve. I know you are reading this and immediately making plans to come home, but I bid you not to return. The night is over, and all that is left is to bury the dead and repair the damage. The Watch stands as a beacon of light amid the dark display, and your presence out in the world will comfort those who worry the serpents will strike at them next. Continue your noble work, and let your friends help this city recover. I shall inform you of any changes, as always. Your humble servant, Kilobix.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 11 of Aneria, The Shattered Realms.
Woo! Whoa. Dallin, what happened to you?
Battle cry! Unfortunately, Dallin has been cursed with a baleful polymorph this evening. It shall last for a while. He will not be able to play this evening, but hopefully he's learned his lesson by next time.
Right.
Yes.
Did you guys ever watch Tim and Eric show Awesome Job? Or Great Job. Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. Anyway, it was a little internet comedy show from the 2000s, and there was an episode where one of them he's sorry, you can cut this, but it was really great. It's now I want to show you guys.
We're what, 20 seconds in?
He's I learned this. I was at a party last night and I learned this great magic trick. You want to see it? And he's he's like, yeah, sure. The other guy's like, yeah, sure, want to show me. He's like, okay, watch. And then he goes, and he turns into a cat.
The cat?
and his friend's like, wow, that's really impressive. And then he turns back into just his human self. He's like, it's pretty great, right? Yeah, that's amazing. And then, but then he turns into a cat again, he didn't mean to. And he then he comes back into you and he's like, naked. He's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then he turns to
don't mess with spells that you don't have proper levels for.
Yeah, if it's not a cantrip, be careful.
Yeah, it's really great. So that's Dallin tonight.
That's exactly why
he learned a magic trick. When
I allow my players to cast stuff that's not prepared with the chance of chaos.
Yeah. It's this is another version of Ezra. This is just one where he accidentally turned himself into a dog.
We're gonna get Ezras from all over the multiverse.
Yep.
All the different timelines, like Loki.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah, this is Dog Ezra.
Desra.
Desra.
But welcome back, everybody. We are so happy to be here tonight and happy that you can join us. Last episode was a doozy, and I'm sorry if it was a little rough for anybody. There was
lots of
all the things that you can't say in the first 10 minutes of a YouTube video.
Right. Everything.
But we're back. Tonight will be a little bit nicer, we hope. We have our wonderful snacks, as usual. Thank you for bringing them, as usual. And before we begin, don't forget to join us on Fridays, where we stream. A couple weeks ago, we had Preston streaming all on his own. That was really fun. We're going to do either an art stream or a paint stream this Friday. You'll have to just wait and see. And the best way that you can find out what exactly we're streaming is by joining our Discord. And also subscribe, comment, ring the bell, all that fun stuff. I'm trying to think.
Sorry. Ring that dinger. Yep.
We need to get some peanut butter on his mouth so that we can just have him voice over.
Say it. Say ring the dinger, buddy. Say it. Speak. What?
Ring that dinger.
Yeah, good enough.
Somatic and
verbal.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, impressive.
And then lastly, kind of a little bit of a downer, but not really. We're okay with it. You might not be. But the next 2 weeks, we are going to be not releasing an episode. Basically, we're just going to take an extra week off from our schedule time. It is the holiday season. Whoop-de-doo and whatnot.
Dickory-dock.
Yep. Thank you. I'm glad that, you know what? I'm giving you an epic die for that. I'm glad that somebody...
So enjoy your holiday, too.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
We'll be back in
that short break.
January. Actually, it might be just before January. I don't remember. We'll figure it out. I have it right here. Okay, perfect. But I think, without further ado,
We should see what they're celebrating.
Yeah.
What are you celebrating?
That's true.
Some
Happy
comments.
holidays.
Skull and crossbones if you celebrate Hanukkah. Skull and crossbones if you celebrate Christmas.
And
Skull and crossbones.
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
It will
Kwanzaa.
be January 4th.
Thank you. Now I don't have to worry about editing notes. But I think without further ado, let's go ahead and get into tonight's episode. After a long night in Salsport, and what has become known as the Night of Carnage, basically there have been massacres all over the city streets. The guard scrambled to do what they could. The Wayward Watch, I'm assuming, continued to help throughout the evening.
Of course.
As much as we could, yeah.
And you are all exhausted at around, we'll say 5 in the morning.
How many
Finally
levels?
getting back to the tower. You received 0 levels.
There's 4 levels in Salsport.
Okay.
Well, there's 3.
There's 3 levels. The water. There's 4 levels in
I
Salsport.
knew we shouldn't have switched from XP.
Yeah, let me quickly calculate how many mooks you killed. Yeah.
Let's raise the town.
So you are now back in Tuscadi's tower.
I drug the Tyrannosaurus Rex and Allosaurus heads back with me.
Okay, perfect. And Kilomith, I will find a way to bring them inside. Helm? And Helm comes marching over. You can see that he actually has like red stains on his armor as well, and he looks a little bit.
Are you all
battered.
right?
Yes, some people thought they could get into the tower or attack it, and of course I assisted the stores around here as well. But everything's
Are they still alive?
fine. I will take the skulls inside.
Okay.
And he actually like takes them around back to probably gut and clean as far as it goes.
I don't
Yeah.
know, burn them off, I guess.
I would
or-
like to
I mean,
inspect
that's a lot of dragon. That's a
the
lot of
garden,
Dragonite.
the garden area to see if anything was recently buried.
Okay.
Like lots of corpses.
Hey, I know why. That's why Helm has like
That's why the
fantastic,
roses are so...
fertilizer.
They put the
all
hydrangeas
natural.
like right on top.
Yep. Also, we have some new
Is that
mincemeat
bonsai
pie
tree
for you.
Is that bonsai tree new? And it's just a guy like all tied up.
That's just a dry.
Yeah. Why do we have so many endangered species?
That
'Cause we
rem-
can't pick them up. Can't pick 'em up.
Here's my tangent for the evening. A holiday movie that you guys should watch is called Mixed Nuts with what's his name? Steve Martin. And during it, they accidentally kill the landlord. And they're trying to hide the body, so they wrap him up in a Christmas tree, and they're going to just take him out on the boardwalk and leave him. And it is a really funny movie. It basically is like a stage play in movie form, and it's got Liev Schreiber and Drag in it, so that's always fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Dragon.
In Dragon. Yep.
He's in Dragon.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you do see there are some freshly turned earth sections in Helm's Garden.
So,
Hey, we have castle doctrine in this world, right?
what was the result of our Night of Carnage? I mean, did we defeat the gang of the Bloody Serpent? Did
Yeah.
we...
So basically, what happened is your section, you cleared that out. Unfortunately, there were casualties. More
Yeah, they
than
killed a bunch of the.
Aramis, for example.
Aramis has died.
Aramis has actually like once the night kind of like broke out into sections, you've all kind of went your separate ways at points, and he just kind of moved off, swearing vengeance and kind of like seething with Zolas's rage. He has not returned yet. He has left a message saying that he is going to continue to hunt down whoever's left. And don't wait up for it, basically. And basically, what happened was you pushed back the gang, basically the blood flame serpent, but you didn't. It doesn't quite come out as a win, right? You didn't like decimate their entire forces and take out all of their leaders and everything.
We snatched a stalemate from the jaws of defeat.
Exactly. Their goal tonight, judging by what you know from the Blood Flame Serpent, is spectacle, right? Their goal was to do as much damage and as much chaos as possible to try and get their name out there, and they succeeded in that. Not as much as they could have, because you guys were able to temper a few of the areas. You were you manage to like, there's like a butcher shop that might not be attributed to specifically the Blood Flame Serpents at this point. And of course, as is the case with any other riot or night of danger, you also took out regular opportunistic criminals that weren't part of the Blood Flame. They were just using the chaos to get money or to enact personal vengeance. It was almost like if you wanted to compare it, it's like a purge, right? It was like a purge night for a lot of people.
And if we were worse people, we would have joined in.
You do have a bag of money from a store that
we're
you
just
took.
keeping it safe. Okay.
The guy's dead. So
He's dead.
yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah. What did you go back for?
funeral costs.
For him, or did you leave him?
I
Because
think
I know
when
you
they
guys.
when they brought him down,
Yeah.
I think at that point Victor was probably very knowing that the person who did it was probably nearby or close enough that he could probably enact vengeance, same as kind of Aramis. So he probably would have been hyper focused on that. But when everything else subsided, he probably would have done funeral rites for his friend in the traditional.
8 rings.
8 rings.
Yeah, was he part of the 8 rings at one point?
He
Or-
was him and his family, if I remember correctly, they were like similar to Aramis, where they were like friends of. They would.
Yeah, they left
Associates of the
on
8
personal
rings.
differences.
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah,
But still on good terms.
Yep.
So, did we ever track down any leaders? Did we like push them to a certain area? Do you know what I mean? Like, or did they all sort of just disappear?
Well, you
Underground,
remember
make way to the docks. Like,
the Dragonborn guy? He was undead or whatever.
He was one of Aramis.
But I think he was the ringleader.
at least
Made
of
more
that
ways than
group
one.
that we were fighting.
Yeah, you definitely took him out. As far as the other ones, you never saw anybody else that was a ringleader. There were a couple people directing groups, but they didn't like back away. Basically, anybody that you met that had a leadership quality, you took them out too. But you get the feeling that it wasn't a important person. You get the feeling that it was just they were
Lieutenants.
just delegating to lieutenants. Yeah. So whoever is running the Blood Flame Serpents, whoever is on the top tiers, they were not here tonight.
Right. Okay.
And again, you did see, I would say that one thing that you kind of note throughout the night is no two groups are using the same method. The group you fought had
Menagerie.
had a Death Knight, the Menagerie, like a lot of goblins that were like fire jugglers and whatnot, that kind of thing. But every group seemed to have their own individual theme, or 2 or 3 themes sometimes. It seemed like it was pure chaos. There was no like, oh, we can clearly identify the Blood Flame Serpents by the fact that they use undead.
Right. And and there wasn't any clear indication on their persons to say like they have a signet or any kind of like.
They all had like branded symbols of the Blood Flame Serpent on them,
Like on their skin kind of thing. Okay.
Yep. But and obviously, like as they were fighting, like there were people carrying like banners that they would plant, that sort of thing, because again, the point for them was to get their symbol out and to get the word out about them as much as possible.
Okay, that makes sense.
So again, it feels very unsatisfying as far as it goes, because you feel like you defended the town. There are probably, we'll say there's like, well, actually, I'll roll a D100 and see how many casualties there are from this. 92 deaths in Salsport from this. And probably twice as many injuries.
Civilians.
Civilian
talking.
deaths. Civilian and
How did our
guard
little-
like combined.
How'd our little gnome friend make out?
Which gnome friend? The
The one
cloaked?
from Nomenclature.
You haven't visited him since. If you want, like, if there's anybody that you want to go check on, obviously you are all pretty tired. I would say that at this point, unless you sleep like immediately, you're going to suffer a point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Moving forward, if you
Not
continue
assuming
on.
we're out of spell slots and have 1 hit point each.
I will say that what you have on your character sheet is what you have. Like everything that you have now is fine.
Lowly
you may
criminals, just they're cantrips.
Yeah, they're cantrip fodder. Also, you can, like, as you're running by, maybe like the guy from Brawl handed you like a spell recovery potion or something to recover a few, so that you could continue on a little bit. But yeah, so that is where you are at.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. I could sleep for a week.
Get some rest. In the morning, we need to go back out and see if there's anything else we can do to help.
In the late afternoon, you mean? Because it is 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the late afternoon.
The red dawn is rising.
Yeah. I'll just head to my room and crash.
Okay.
Unless somebody stops me.
That will be probably wise.
I will prepare a breakfast when you guys awake, and if you'd like, I can send some missives out just to see if, just to check on the friends, just to see who in Southport may need assistance.
Please do that.
As I'm like headed up the stairs, I'm like, could you check on Madame Talvain?
Of course, yes.
The Emporium, that she's important.
I will add it to my list. Is there anything that I should wake you for?
Enemies at the gate.
Understood.
If there's, I was going to ask if you can put out a few feelers and try to find. There was an owlbear that ran off as well, and they. Meta knowledge, are they fairly uncommon in an area?
Owlbears are, yeah, I mean, like they're not like as prevalent as bears, right? Like for every 10 bears, there's one owlbear, for example, right? So not rare, but not
For
common.
every how many owls?
Yeah, oh, that's true. Every 100 owls and every 10 bears, there is one owlbear.
Somebody do the math.
When an owl and a bear love each other,
A wizard decides to
merge them together.
Yeah. In the merging chamber.
Yes,
Duh.
yeah, of course. If you can reach out to some of our contacts and see if there's any sightings of this owlbear, I would like to be notified as soon as possible.
Of course. Are we looking to take it down?
No, actually, I was wondering if we could take a portion of the... Would it be the apiary? Is that what we call the room with the...
I call it the
griffins?
rookery.
If we could take a portion of the rookery and create some area for the owlbear to live.
Of course. I actually am already converting an area for owlbear living in the rookery. Miss Ferracue said that she acquired a young owlbear recently that may need some aid.
Oh. Well, perhaps we can introduce the two and see if they can help each other out. But I want to try to get it before the town gets a hold of it.
Of course, I will.
I've always wanted it.
I will send word out. Helm goes, I could go searching if you want.
If you've got some time between whatever you're continuing doing and...
Well, and he kind of just looks back at the half, skinned Tyrannosaurus at this point.
You see, like, the camera pans down, it's just his foot, and he just kicks a hand underneath some dirt. It's like, oh,
I've got
good.
free time.
He has free time.
He just walks off going, here, owlbear, kong, kong.
I hear they love clapping. Go ahead and do that.
Metallic clapping.
Yes.
Especially. We will take care of it, Bolt. Please, You have earned some rest yourself.
I'm going to go upstairs and relax.
Of course. I will let you know if anything pressing comes up.
Can I say that in the tower my long rest is reading?
Sure.
Since I go into like sentry mode or whatever.
I mean, you spent 100 years reading. It's probably relaxing for you at this point.
So that's what I'll do. I'll kick up in the big oversized
Observatory.
Chair in the observatory and have a pile of books next to me and just start.
The books from the astronomy tower and all them keep. You empty them all out. Organize them first because that's relaxing.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So yeah, I would say it's about 3 hours into your rest when there is actually a knock on Alomah's door.
Okay.
And Killiby says, Master Alomah, may I enter?
Yes, of course.
He slips right through the door, literally just kind of like Terminator 2 slides through the door, and then once he's through, his little candle lights up again, and he goes, "My apologies for interrupting your sleep. You wished to know about Madame Talvain."
Yes.
Do you have fur on your snout that's like this?
Yes.
Like, the dog sleeps in.
Drool.
I am afraid that apparently she is missing, and her store has been ransacked. Her companion's body was found in there.
What was
Wynn.
Wasn't that a construct or something?
She had very perfect skin. Nobody had determined what origin she was. She didn't look like anything.
I think we tried and we couldn't tell.
Yeah. I do not know
Sorry,
if
what was
you
your
wish
name again?
to win, Winn. If you wish to go investigate, or if you wish to continue your slumber. I can inform the watch that if they cordon off the area, we will handle the investigation if they'd like.
Yes.
I can't guarantee they'd say yes, but
Please do your best. I fear that if I show up in the state that I'm currently in, I will not be able to either make any clear decisions nor overcome any threats that may present themselves.
of course, I shall do that. And then his candle goes out and he slips right back through the door, letting you go back to sleep. Okay. So if there's nothing else from you, you can take a long rest.
Okay.
And you wake up around noon.
When I wake up, I'm gonna swap out a cleric spell.
Ooh.
And pick up remove curse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you. Yes. Let me roll a d20. Thank you for reminding me about your curse. Okay. I was gonna say you do have restless dreams. Thank you for reminding me about your curse. At that night, and you hear that kind of same like wailing and crying out for release that has been like haunting you ever since, like the whispers and everything. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't interrupt your sleep, so you are okay there.
Last time I got hit with those infernal chains, and that I think it reduced my HP. You were able to take care of that with lay on hands.
I think
I don't have
or lesser restoration.
Might have been.
I do have lesser restoration.
Either way, a long rest takes care of that too.
Okay.
So your maximum should be back to normal at this point. Yep. So you're going to you take a moment to pray. Technically, you're supposed to pray to your goddess in the evening.
Yes.
But
it says, I just looked it up. It said after a long rest.
Yeah. True.
And it's like a number of minutes equal to the spell's level, I want to say.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too long. That should be fine. So, which spell are you dropping? Ancestral Guardians, good choice.
Prayer of Healing. Spirit Guardian.
Fireball?
Spirit
Ancestral
Guardian.
Guardian is a barbarian subclass.
Oh, right. You are no longer an Ancestral Guardian. Sorry, you dropped that in order to pick up Remove Curse.
Dang it.
They're equal ground.
Reckless attack.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And then I'm assuming that you're going to immediately cast
Yes.
Remove Curse.
I will.
You just wake up and you're like, yeah.
So you take a moment to say a soft prayer
Writing to Aneria, asking her to guide me in removing this curse that I've been afflicted with.
Yeah. And then you kind of like you prep a little like ritual bowl of water. You use your divine magic to summon basically like a small little moonbeam to like purify it, and then you drink the water. Maybe you mix some other like items in there.
Right.
Like some
Zuna
ash
berries.
or something. Yeah, Zuna berries or something. And you take a drink and you feel kind of that like one final cry, and then the sound just dissipates from your ears, and there's kind of this like little dark wave that seems to like burst out from you and dissipate. So you are no longer cursed and no longer baned.
And with that, he kind of like shakes himself, almost like like a dog getting out of a pool of water, and he's just like,
Right. I feel much better. I need to figure out what happened at the Emporium.
and he'll go downstairs and start looking for Bolt and Victor.
Okay.
Has anybody heard from Aramis?
I'm afraid Master Aramis is still out and about searching for the remnants of the serpent.
Oh, I hope he's all right.
He did send me a missive not an hour ago. He says he is still on the hunt.
Good.
I am glad that he's checking in. I did not expect it.
Victor would probably come down here in the hubbub. He probably would have been spending, after getting a little sleep, he probably would have spent some time just sitting on the, what's it called, where the gyrocopter or whatever could fly on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of sitting out there and just staring out over the city.
Staring out at the foggy day only because of all the fires and the town picking up its pieces. Yeah, it's very mournful this morning. There's a lot of cleanup. It's almost like a natural disaster came through here.
A red sun rises. Yep. Blood has been spilled this night.
And then of course Bolt.
No more illusions.
I'm still chilling in the chair, reading.
Chilling in the chair.
Totally lost track of time.
Yep. How many books did you make it through?
8 hours?
4 for you technically, but
Is it 4? No, it's not 4. I think I have to do full 8.
I thought you were 4 because you
No,
follow
11.
trance rules.
Elves in Eladrin, I know. are
At least
4.
6 hours.
6 hours.
6. Yeah, so a full 6 hours of reading. I probably got through, if they're decent sized books, maybe like 2.5, 3 books. Okay. Maybe 4. Maybe
so
Bulk read
that's
a little
where
faster.
Alomah will find both the other party members is up in the observatory / library because that's where
/ workshop.
Yeah.
/ hammock place.
Killabex said that Madame Talvain's emporium was attacked, that her assistant was slain, and she's gone missing. I'd like to head over there and see if we can figure out what happened.
Is it that time already? I look out the window.
Yeah, it is about midday now.
Oh. Madame Talvain, you said.
Yes.
I think that sounds fine. I can come help you. I do need to go collect some of the ashes to send back to Cinderhearth, but that should be good.
Killabex,
Yes. And he's
I'm starving. Could you get us some food that we could eat on the way, perhaps?
Yes, I think the chef might have something for that. It'll be ready by the time you get downstairs.
Thank you.
Any word back about the owlbear?
Helm left a couple hours ago searching. I have not seen anything. The authorities are on the lookout. But there are several magical creatures that have been released into the city that are still at large. There is a particular unfortunate displacer beast problem down on the lower level, for example.
We could definitely use a displacer beast as well.
I don't know how to handle
We
displacer
could
beasts.
definitely kill rampaging displacer beasts as well.
The city guard has assured me that they can handle it, but
Well, ask some of the mages we know and see if there's any way to contain one.
I shall see.
In the meantime, if we run into one, I guess we'll have to put it down.
Of course.
To Madame Talvain's.
Please.
Yes, I can stop by the pyre on the way. And the pyre would be
That's what they're calling the burned down tavern, right?
where he would have done that kind of ceremonial kind of burning of his friend.
Yeah.
And then we'll just gather some of it in the little bag to take back and take a little bit of the ash and smear it over his face.
Okay.
Is that a 8 rings thing, or is it a Genasi thing?
It's a little bit of both. I want to be able to take him back to our people at Cinderhearth and perhaps allow his ashes to return to
You
the
mean
skies.
Scald Seat, right?
Or Scald Seat.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's
I was
right.
gonna say,
That's my dagger.
dagger.
To Scald Seat, to release his ashes so that he might return back to the wind and the skies and be with those people that I don't know if
What about
who might survive him this night, but
what about his pet that we also found?
probably would have been burnt with him.
You called it.
I mean, because he was hung with it,
Nigiri?
right? Nigiri.
Yeah, I think it was Nagiri.
Nigiri. No.
Be careful how you say that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Nagini.
Nagini.
Ah. Nigiri is the fish.
Yes, nigiri
Nigiri
the fish
is-
for sushi.
Yeah, like sashimi, but
I haven't had sushi in
Yeah,
like 100 years.
You get down to the bottom of the stairs, by the way, and the I'm calling them the master hands because they're just white gloves, but they are finishing folding up your breakfast into a tortilla so that you can have breakfast burritos to go.
are there little characters playing on the thing that's going?
Yeah. Yep. There's a couple of tiny marble figurines that are running from one of them. Yep.
Did they make one for me as well?
Yes.
I will take mine and hand it to Alomah.
thank you. And he
You're like,
literally just like
yes!
3 bites. He's like,
Roll me a Constitution saving throw, because everybody knows that Bolt likes spicy.
That's
foods.
true. It was
that's a 28.
It is nothing to you. It is just licking of the chops for like a couple minutes. The standard. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just keeps me warm on the inside.
I keep telling Kilobex I don't actually need to eat, but
I did spend several years as a priest of the god of the sun. So
there's
I'm
a
used
lot
to
of
heat.
commotion going on in Salzburg today.
Yep. Thanks to Syrinscape for providing that. By the way, forgot to mention that. But yes, there is a lot of commotion. People are picking things up as you get down to the mid tier. Did I interrupt you? I think I interrupted you. No.
I just was saying, I was making some offhanded quip about being used to heat.
Okay.
Being spicy.
Yeah, you did grow up next to a volcano.
And
Or nearby.
spent the first few years of my young adult life as a cleric of the god of the sun.
Makes sense. You don't get sunburn anymore.
No.
Or sunfurred?
Sunbird?
Furburned?
You can still get burned. Like dogs can still get sunburned.
Yeah.
Not me.
Not this dog.
That's a special trait for light clerics.
Yep. So yeah, you do actually. They really should put that in there. Just like,
Just a nice
you
little
can't get
ribbon
sunburned.
feature. Yeah.
Roll for SPF damage.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so the mid tier, just like every other tier, is picking up after a long night, and there are like some city guards wandering around. There's actually a lot of Arcanum around the mid tier, just as there was in the upper tier and lower tier, as you saw last night. And they are providing what aid they can. Basically, it looks like what the Arcanum was supposed to be, rather than what it turned into.
Right.
Yeah.
For once, I think I can say I'm glad the Arcanum's here. That seems fortuitous.
As long as they're helping people, I suppose.
Let's avoid them for a little while.
Of course.
A recent run-in with a freshly demolished building might be on their radar. I'd rather avoid that.
Perhaps
right
that will be forgotten in the tragedy of last night.
Oh yeah, the Blood Flame Serpents did that. I think one was a Warforged, one was a Kitsune,
Right.
one was a member of the Eight Rings too.
They're all dead.
We could give
Yeah.
the descriptions, but we did kill them.
Yeah.
And burned their bodies.
One was a minotaur. One was a frog person. There was some guy named Joe. I don't know if he was part of the gang or just there
front of
getting a
all of
drink,
them.
but he also lit a fire and ran out.
And then there was a guy on a horse named Brander. He was the mastermind of it all.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, now I have to
Aneria's-
change who the leader of the Blood Flame
Aneria's
Serpents
most
is.
wanted.
But yeah, you arrive at Madame Talvain's Emporium. The front door has been shattered to pieces. There is some like caution tape put up, and there's actually one member of the Salzport Watch. He's just kind of, they're all mercenaries, so he's just kind of, he's wearing the kind of studded leather. He's got the cap on, the kind of the long handlebar mustache. He's got a cudgel.
Ho there.
Hi, are you the Wayward Watch then?
We are.
I was told to just kind of keep an eye on this place until you got here. Apparently you're going to be investigating this one.
Yes, she was a recent acquaintance of ours.
Of course.
I say at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you got friends in high places right up to the mayor, it seems. So this isn't an issue. Just, I guess take it from here.
Tell the mayor we say hello, actually.
I don't know him.
And I'm going to walk in as he's like...
Right through the caution tape.
yeah. I don't need to be cautious. It's just glass.
The place inside is ransacked. A lot of the bookshelves have been like smashed and all the books spilled out.
The books!
They're all children's books.
I mean, that one was like my first buttress,
Yep.
you know. So
The counter is like destroyed and broken down, and you do actually see against the wall, basically split in half, bisected by the counter. You see the bottom half of Wynn, and then you see their top half kind of slammed into the wall and just slumped over. And they're sitting there again. They have kind of this tealish skin, and you do see that there is some like blood that seems to be leaking out of them, and it is a kind of pure silver look to the blood.
I'm gonna go over and investigate and see if I can figure out what they are.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and roll me a medicine or Arcana.
Arcana is much better.
And what about you two? What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna look for anything that might. I'm suspicious that this was the doing of the Bloodflame Serpents. I'm wondering if somebody else took the opportunity to
Okay.
ransack the place.
Are you going to
during the
focus your efforts on the front here, or are you going to?
Oh,
Because there is a back, and then there is a second level that you can see when you walked in.
yeah, I would start upstairs actually.
I'd start in the back.
Okay, just a moment here. I just want to check something. So the back room, first of all, is a kind of a storybook room. You can see like the walls have been painted with different tales. You can see an emerald stag kind of like in the background of one of the trees. There's also like a woman standing in the window of a doorway, but she has kind of a spectral appearance to her, which is not a pleasant children's story, but it is a children's story. And you can actually see like there is an image of like the plains that look like the Pounceman Prairies, and there is kind of this large golem made of scrap kind of wandering through it with a mirror head kind of thing. You know, basically all tales around an area that have kind of been painted in here to give the kids some cool things to look at.
Do you recognize the mirror? Because that's the shard that we have in the bell jar up in the
That is
observatory.
indeed.
Or a piece of it, at least.
On the wall, is there a written mural saying "Tales of Aneria"?
Yes. Yes, there is. Branding is important. So yes, it does say Tales of Aneria. Yep.
TM.
Do I see any indication of struggle in this room, or does it just look like it was upturned and?
Actually, this room looks pretty unharmed. Like, there's not too much in here. Like, the chair is tipped over, but it doesn't look like somebody came in here like a rampaging bull or anything like that.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just spend the remaining time just looking for anything that might stand out or be not out of place, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
In that room.
Give me an investigation check there.
Natural 20 plus investigation, which is +1.
So 21.
So we'll get to that in just a moment here. Alomah, you head upstairs. Basically, there's a little beaded curtain that leads to a staircase, and you head up and you hit that first landing, and there's kind of a flash of arcane on the ground, and an alarm just starts wailing.
Okay.
And you have to cover your ears for several moments as it starts just blasting away, and doesn't sound like it's stopping at any time.
Okay.
Alomah, what are you doing?
Trying to investigate upstairs. It seems I've triggered some sort of magical alarm.
Can you disable it?
Typically, that would require a dispel magic.
Yeah. He'll just keep walking.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So you keep walking. You hit the top of the next stair, and there's another flash. And I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Hey, that's again a 28.
Okay. You feel like this spell start to like creep up your legs, almost like it's trying to turn your flesh into stone, and you just kind of quickly say a prayer and banish it away.
Cool.
So.
How many more lanterns are there on this place?
Okay. So you can continue on if you'd like.
As you walk, they just keep shifting downward. You're not actually going up. It's just
That was the top of the stairs. Okay. So now you can see there's a short little hallway. There's a room on the right, and then there is a doorway in front of you.
I'll try the room on the right first. Okay.
you kind of swing it open, and we'll cut back to Bolt really quick. So what was your Arcana?
26.
26. So this Win is a construct. They are an arcane construct of some kind. So anybody that was trying to determine, like, if Win was alive based on medicine or not realizing what they were, probably would think that they're dead, right? But you don't have, like, do you have any sort of spells that you could, because it doesn't work against, or, like, usual healing doesn't work against constructs.
Yeah, I don't have any mending or anything.
Right, the only Artificer without mending.
The Artificer without the mending spell.
Yeah.
Sacrilege.
Oh, actually, I did want to swap out Chain Whip for something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, the cantrip, you were going to do, like, Ray of Frost, weren't you? Was it Chain Whip you wanted to get rid of?
Yeah.
That's been iconic for you.
Yeah, I don't think I need it anymore, though.
Yeah, with your last level up, I thought.
Anyway, I was going to say, can I swap it for mending?
Maybe.
Maybe as, like, rolling back the clock to help the town fix things up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. Just because it does seem like something that an Artificer should have is a mending cantrip.
Yeah.
I actually have mending.
And, yeah.
You can just call me and I'll come down and help.
Yeah, the two of you working together, you could probably get the bisected construct put back together.
Yeah, I'm going to start working on that. Try to get Wen back together.
Okay. Are you going to call Alomah to help you as well?
Not just yet. Bolt's just going to try to do it themselves.
Get started.
And then if I run into needing extra magical energy.
Okay.
Because at this point, I probably don't know that you have that you can do that. Because I haven't ever seen you do it.
Right.
So I wouldn't really call out and be like, hey, come help me with this. Because this is kind of supposed to be my area of expertise.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you can get started on trying to see if you can repair Win's body, see if you can do anything there. Victor, your investigation, you rolled a 21, you said?
Yes, 21.
And you rolled a natural 20 there.
Natural 20 plus 1, yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of looking around behind a few of the little bookshelves in here and everything, and you do find something.
Okay.
You find a small, it almost looks like you find a chest, like a tiny chest, except for it's just carved. It's just a carved chest. It's not a...
It's a mimic.
It's not an actual... Yeah, it's not
If
a
I
mimic.
touch it, the mimic, that's going
Exactly.
I'm going to torch this place. Yeah, so I guess... and now is
It's like about that big. It's not even like looks like it can hold anything like a jewelry box. In fact, the lid doesn't even come open. It looks like somebody basically whittled or chiseled. I need to remember. Let me just look at this here.
Okay. I'll save my clarifying question when we have it. Assuming this will get...
It's actually made out of... It's actually been chiseled out of mithril.
Okay. So, I'm going to first I'll inspect around it just to make sure it's not trapped. I mean, I wouldn't assume... Because this looks like where they read with children, right?
Yeah.
Is it out in the kind of more of an open area where the kids would have gotten to it?
No, it was actually like you
More
were kind of
hard to
looking
find.
through and you noticed that one of the stories, like the kid in the story is pointing to something that they don't point to in the story. And this is
Gotcha.
the kid with no eyes, by the way, in
Gotcha.
case you're curious
Okay.
about it. There's a fun little story about it. You can read that on the World Anvil site below. Go check out the folklore section. But you notice that they're not pointing where they're supposed to be, and you kind of like adjust the hand a little bit. Like you're like, oh, this actually moves. So you adjust it, and then that pops open a little compartment,
So
and you pull out the chest.
I'll pull it out and kind of inspect it a little bit, and you say it does not open.
No, it does not open. It is a solid piece of mithril, basically.
Curious. So I'll make my way back out into the foyer or where Bolt is. I'm just kind of inspecting the box itself.
Okay. All right, upstairs. The alarm is still going off. You guys can all hear it faintly, but Alomah, you're getting the full blast as you're wandering through. You open up the room on the right, and you see a small. It almost looks like somebody converted a broom closet. There is a small single bed
Animated
in
broom.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, for an enemy. Yeah.
We've been through this before.
Yep. There is kind of a small little wardrobe, and it's very tight. Like you open up the door out instead of into the room itself, because otherwise there'd be no room.
So it's a New York apartment.
Yeah, it looks very small, and you kind of like look around a little bit, and it is literally just like a trunk,
Only
a bed,
$40 a month.
and the cabinet.
Okay.
And if you go through any of it, it's not locked. The trunk has like a set of very basic kind of mail armor in it, and a sword and shield. And then the cabinet itself has a few individual sets of clothing that are they're all like a they're all kind of like just very basic colors, and they're all the same style. I just need to remember exactly.
Interesting.
It is purple tunic and brown pants over and over again, which is the outfit that Wynn wore, and in fact she was wearing when you entered in.
Right. Okay. I'll go to the other. You said there was another room.
Yes, there was a room at the end of the hallway.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go.
This one's a lot grander. There's a lot more space in this room. There is a master bed over on one side. There is a little writing desk on the other, and you can see that there is a half-open book, it's open, but there's like half the pages have been written in, almost like somebody was in the process of transcribing something.
Oh.
And you walk over and you start reading through, and it is actually another version of Adelaide's Tales, Volume 3.
Volume 3?
No, sorry.
Mine.
2.
Volume 2.
Yeah, Volume 2.
Okay.
And it's only about 2 or 3 pages in, so it looks like she didn't get very far. And you can tell that actually there are some pages that have been like ripped out and crumpled up on the floor and kind of smashed with a boot kind of thing. So
And I'm assuming that my original book that
your original book is not here.
He'll actually like flip the table.
Flip the whole writing desk.
Yeah.
Some ink spills everywhere. You guys hear a crash from downstairs.
I'll look at Bolt. Do you think he's okay?
I mean, he can take himself in a fight. If he starts yelling, we should go look.
I'll go check on him.
Do you yell in English?
Yeah, just then you hear me go,
I'll be right back. I'll go up the stairs.
You also yell if there's something else going on.
Bolt, see if you can figure out what this is, and I'll throw it to you.
I don't catch it. I'm no.
And I'll just go up the stairs and kind of leave it with him.
I'll check the.
We
No more
haven't developed
curses for
that
you.
trust back yet.
I'll check everywhere else in the wardrobe and the.
Yeah,
closet and
the
things.
wardrobe has a lot of different finer outfits to it. They're in Madame Talvain's size. I mean, it's pretty easy to assume that this is her room. Her vanity has a couple different sets of jewelry.
Close that drawer. No, don't go in that one.
Yeah,
That one's got all of her Mage Hunter stuff in it.
Yeah. There you actually do not find anything that would resemble any sort of like magic items or anything like that. That you would expect from a former like Mage Hunter, current wizard.
Alomah, are you okay? I heard the ruckus.
His hackles are up.
Is there someone here?
And I'm gonna look around the room to see if there's a intruder.
My book, it's gone. Before she had time to finish transcribing it.
Oh,
I knew I shouldn't have let her.
I'm sorry to hear that. That was important to you, yes?
Yes. I had one of 3, now I have none of 3. And I have no idea where to begin looking.
Now, so far in our investigation, we have not seen any bombastic, large, showy, it was us snake symbols.
Nope.
Well, I don't think it was the... last time we were here, they
serpents,
said that
no.
the serpents had already purchased the ones
This
that
is
they wanted,
too
right?
specific a target.
Who
This
else
had
knew
to
you
have-
had
This
it?
had to have been the cult.
Well, who else would have known that you had this?
Nobody.
We knew. We knew.
Perhaps Wynn might know where we can find her.
Is Wynn here?
Well, she lost.
thought she was
so
dead.
Probably. I'm not sure. Bolt was down there doing something with the body.
Maybe I could bring her back. Let's go see.
Oh, this gets a little weird, but I like it. Let's try this.
All right, weekend at Bernie's. Here we go.
So you two head down the stairs. As soon as you pass back through the beads, the alarm cuts off.
Yeah, I'll just walk up and see what Bolt's doing.
Is everything all right? As I'm like,
No.
I've got the torso
Yeah.
down and I got the legs on the table.
And you're
whatever's
slowly
on the table, and
trying
I'm
to
like,
like
put the cords together and like.
It is almost wax-like, this material. So you are like applying a little bit of heat and kind of fusing things back together. So it's not a mechanical construct. It looks like this is more of like an arcane.
Kilobex, come climb inside this.
Bolt,
Can't leave the town.
No. Everything is not all right. My copy of the book has been taken before Madame Talvain was able to finish transcribing it.
What? The book that you found is gone.
Yes.
I am so sorry, and I'm going to get you in a big hug. There is nothing sadder than losing a book.
Well, you say over the body of it.
Yeah.
Victor will come down after and say, Bolt, can you mend these? Then they'll have like the crumpled pages of what she was trying to do, and can you mend these?
I have dabbled in bookbinding before, so I could give
If
it
you
a
could
try.
mend this, at least it might give you some of what you lost in the short term. It might not replace all of it, but maybe it holds a clue.
Was this your first book? Because you always remember your first book.
That's true.
I don't think I've ever read an entire book in my life.
What? Victor,
To be fair, he was blind for a
We
number
need
of
to
years.
Not that you were there for that, but
But I've heard.
you know stories, yeah.
There was a reason.
Look, do you think when? She seems to be not quite...
grab those two bits right there and press them together.
And he's just like, I'm not much for mechanical constructs, but Lunera has the power to heal all life forms, and I'll just cast the mending spell.
Okay. Yeah, again, this isn't strictly mechanical. It's a lot more like arcane. So the two of you working together, Bolt, making sure that everything is arranged. Like there are some like, it almost looks like there are like runes that are etched again and again along, and you like line them up and get them all situated. Lunera's light kind of helps you seal everything back together, and you guys get everything back in place. You wait for a moment, and then almost without ceremony, Wynn just opens her eyes, or their eyes, sorry, and goes, "What happened?"
We were hoping that you could tell us. We heard that you had been killed and Madame Talvain was missing.
Where is she?
Came
Do
to
you know
investigate
who attacked?
all that.
The book is gone.
Hold on. You died. We brought you back.
I cannot die.
Well, you were bisected by this table.
I see. And they look over at
This came out of you.
the fluid.
Are you?
I am
Understand.
a construct created by Madame Talvain in order to assist her and protect her, and I appear to have failed. You
Like
said she is
a
missing?
homunculus.
Sort of. We are called Magian. We are very uncommon. Madame Talvain was able to recover a spell to create one and created me. It is a very expensive process, and I thought I could live up to that expense.
Can you tell
know,
us
it's so sad.
what happened? What are the last things you remember?
Well, Madame Talvain was preparing herself to go aid who she could for the evening during the riots that were going on. And some gentlemen came into the store. They were cloaked, golden eyes on their hoods, and they had some Edequathan with them. They had one in particular that was quite large, and I tried to defend myself and defend the store, and was thrown. And she looked. I'm doing it again.
Keep trying.
They have a feminine appearance more so than it's fairly androgynous, but it's a little bit more on the feminine side. And I must have passed out, and they must have taken Madame Talvain. And
Did they mention any names, who they were, what they were there for?
no, They kind of rushed in without any.
Oh, the Golden Eyes. Does this match any of the descriptions of like any of our previous foes?
You weren't there for that one. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
When
these
we
are the
fought
ones
in
that
the astronomy tower.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You each have like one of their shadow daggers. Basically, they are like they follow the blinded one. I think is what it is, or the sightless one. I'm trying to remember which name I gave it, but they're the ones who summoned that creature, that silent creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll actually pull out the dagger and say, do you remember if they were carrying these?
Yes, they were.
I was afraid of this.
And with our last encounter, did we have any intel on where they were at, or was it fairly?
It was
okay.
fairly.
These Etaquathan, were they also cloaked or?
No, they appear to be just wearing normal, standard Etaquathan garb.
Why were they with them? Perhaps we ought to.
Hired muscle.
Right.
Were there any defining features other than Etaquathan?
No.
That is
Like
a
I
pretty,
said,
pretty
one was
defining
large.
feature. They're not usually seen in abundance.
How many do we see in this?
In Salzport, you see probably more than most, and maybe it's like half a dozen down by the docks usually.
Okay,
right?
so them coming and going, it would be a pretty easily.
Yeah, Etaquathan are not.
Okay.
They do not stray too far from Deepwell.
Okay.
Which is way below Salzport. It's
Interesting.
in the
I
ocean.
wonder if anyone else in the area may have seen them as they passed.
River.
I don't know.
But
We
if
can
they're
ask
working
around.
with Etaquathan, do you think they are in the perhaps the sightless one is because it's so deep and dark that it cannot see?
I haven't given that any thought. Perhaps it is some sort of sea creature or sea god of some sort.
At the very least, they could be working down there. What
Well-
better place to hide than Deepwell?
I wonder if we could find more people in the area to see if they saw them leave. I know in the chaos it probably will be difficult, but
It's worth a try.
Win. What will you do now?
You are searching for Madame Talvain?
Yes, that is my
Then-
top priority anyway.
Then I am accompanying you.
As long as that's all right with my companions, I suppose we could use the help, especially until.
I just need you to sign this affidavit in case you get hurt. It's not our fault. It's not on our time that you get repaired again.
Nothing will be on you if something happens to me.
Perfect. Sign here. Never mind.
I'll scroll it up.
All right.
She kind of like stands up they kind of stand up pretty stiffly. And go, I will return in a moment.
While
And they
she leaves,
walk
I'll
towards the back.
pick up the box again.
So, Bolt, what'd you find out?
I am not touching that. I don't know if it's cursed or not.
Well, I'm touching it. It's fine.
What is it? What did you find?
That's what you said about the maze.
Well, I was in
I
the...
pull it out threateningly.
That's fair. Okay, I get what you mean. I found this in the wall in the other room in a secret compartment. I don't know if it is valuable. Perhaps we should ask. I don't want to steal it from them.
It looks like mithril.
Yes, but it is a box that does not have a lid. I cannot open it
And how do you know it's a box?
because it's a cube.
Should I shake it and is there anything inside?
No.
Could just be a brick of mithril.
It is carved like a chest.
Why don't we
Oh,
ask?
okay.
Yeah. In case you missed that.
Okay. It's only like an ingot. It's not a box.
Why
doesn't know it open?
I was busy fixing a person, okay?
Why don't we ask Win when she returns? Perhaps
All
she
right.
knows.
Yes,
Right. I started this, but they.
when they return.
Yeah, when they return.
When.
Win-win.
When we return.
Because
Is it W-E-N-N?
W-I-N.
W-I-N.
Yeah.
When lose returns.
Because when I started creating the character, I originally went with the she pronoun, but then I was like, there are construct. They don't really have any like emotion. That's kind of their point. So I changed it to they because I didn't think it would matter. But apparently my brain can't parse that information properly. Wind does return.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, exactly. Wind does return, and they are wearing the armor from the chest, the chainmail. They kind of have like it's almost like a skull cap with like the chainmail coif to it, and they've got the shield, the kite shield strapped to their back, and the short sword on their hip. And they look over at you holding the chest.
Wind, I'm glad you're back. I found this in the other room. I was hoping it might have a clue for what we are trying to do.
That is an item that Madame Talvain uses in rituals. May I?
Yes.
And she takes it, and you just watch her kind of go, lift up her shirt and push it into herself, and then kind of put the shirt back down.
So it's not cursed.
No.
What sort of rituals?
Could have identified.
I do not know if that is something I should say. Madame Talvain likes her secrets.
In the event that you die, or...
I trusted her with my book. It's gone.
If your book is gone, there is still a chance that it is safe.
Yes, and we are now helping you to find your mistress. I think you ought to show us a little trust.
I will say that if Madame Talvain had any warning about the intruders, which, judging by... Where did you say you found this?
This was in the other room.
I'll explain how
She
I
did.
got it.
Then your book is safe from whoever kidnapped her.
Would it be here somewhere?
Recovering Madame Talvain would get your book back.
It's probably in that box.
All right.
Should we jump her?
Well, where should we start?
Okay.
He's just like pointedly ignoring it.
Victor's like, I want that.
It is entirely up to
Going
you.
to get it.
I have never investigated a kidnapping before.
Should we head to the dock? Should we head straight to deep well?
Deep well. It's not that easy to get into.
I can't-
Actually, it is.
It is now?
Yes. It actually has been for a while. Like, Bolt just... I don't think Bolt's just never been there. There is
Go deep well.
There is a tunnel.
Underwater buttresses.
There is a tunnel that leads from Salsport down to Deepwell, and it is surprisingly about a half an hour's journey. Yeah.
That doesn't seem possible, but okay.
It says the talking construct.
I'm just saying. I'm just like, yeah, magic. We should probably head to the docks first because the entrance to Deepwell is down there anyway, and hopefully we can find some Adequathan that could point us in a direction. Yes. Maybe they saw. Could be bribed, perhaps.
Maybe. I hear the new tunnel, they called it, I think it was Haste Loop. The Haste Loop. Kind of like Hyperloop.
It's called the Haste Loop, yeah.
Right.
You can go across the United States.
The Haste Circle.
Let's go.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and... I want to stop at the gnome place, though, real quick. Gnome and Cloakshire. I'm just going to walk by it. Is it boarded up, or...?
It has, like, there are, like, boards on the windows, but they do say, I assure you we're open.
Okay, I'm gonna open the door and peek inside.
And there is, like, the
his
gnome
name?
proprietor...
Do we know his name?
I don't even remember if I named him. The gnome proprietor is sweeping up a bunch of glass, and he turns
I
and
think I wrote it down.
goes, "Oh, you're back."
Oh, you're not dead.
No.
That's good, I guess.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you're alive as well. Did you go to the magistrate yet?
Not yet. We'll get there soon.
Of course.
We were
Right,
busy
sure.
saving town again.
That's true. I guess last night was pretty hectic.
You know,
So I guess we're even.
I mean, you owed me nothing before. I owed you nothing before.
Then we're even.
Same.
Okay. All right then. He just goes back to sweeping.
And I close the door and then open back up and be like, stay alive. Close it again.
Why is he so interested in me? I don't understand.
Definitely not nefarious purposes.
No.
Now, should we talk with the magistrate before we leave, just to let them know?
No, we should
No.
not. Let's go.
We've got other stuff
Okay,
to do.
it seems
Agreed.
suspicious, but let's do it.
Okay, so you guys head. You actually don't head down. You head up because you need to get to the top tier and then kind of exit Salsport almost. Basically, there's kind of the inroad.
Corey, just draw one.
Draw one immediately.
Yeah, right now.
No, I'm
Give us
not.
a map for Southport.
You're the map drawer. Thank you very much. Draw a map, Scott.
Tomorrow or 2 days from now in your stream, can you draw a map?
Yes, there's haberdasheries everywhere.
Yes, nothing but haberdasheries. Yeah, so basically the inroad where they kind of like there's kind of a checkpoint where they ask people if they're bringing any fruits or vegetables into Southport, that kind of thing.
Anything to declare?
There is sort of a branch that leads off of Southport to this coral tunnel. Basically, it's like the entrance to a coral tunnel that seems to go straight down.
Okay.
So you guys are easily able to make your way up there when following you stoically the entire way. Her movements are stiff and just kind of, it's very clear to see in the daylight now that she's moving around and now that you know what she is, like she's very clearly a construct.
Yeah, we want to go to the
They are
docks.
very clearly a construct.
While waiting in line, is there anything like this loop was built, or this tunnel was built by our founder, Milon Husk?
It was built by the first mayor of Southport. We'll call him Elon Sal.
Milon Sal. Okay.
But with an A. Elan Sal. Yep.
His real name was just Alan, but his parents wrote it down wrong on the birth certificate.
And it's not exactly a wait. Well, it's not a line that you're waiting in. It's more of there's a group forming at the entrance of this tunnel. And there are a couple, just like a couple bored-looking mage students from a local
Is there any Edequathan?
college.
Can we see?
There are not any Edequathan that you can see currently. There are some other races, like there's some Tritons, there's a couple water Genasi, there's several merchant carts that are carrying various topside goods, that kind of thing. And as you watch the tunnel, there's kind of this little flash, and coming out of the tunnel is several Edequathan carrying bundles of stuff that kind of move off to the side immediately.
I want to walk up to him.
Okay.
As soon as I can.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We're looking for some Edequathan.
We're right here.
Not you. Well, maybe you. I don't know for yet. But they attacked a friend of ours and kidnapped her.
I'm sorry.
Miss Talvain.
And you think that we know? You think all Edequathan know each other?
I don't know. There's many cultures in the world. They all have strange rituals. This one takes ashes for some
He
reason.
still has ashes on his face, by the way.
He's just gonna shake his head and walk away.
This one loves the moon.
muttering land dwellers.
Okay. Sir, how about you? Can you help me?
Perhaps, I know this is difficult for you, but we might want to try exercising some discretion.
Oh, right. We're looking for some people.
You're not a good liar.
That's...
Let Victor talk. He basically lies all the time.
You do? Well, I guess that explains the curse
Very
mace.
honorably.
I thought your strategy was
An honorable
sound.
liar,
I'm an honorable
Right.
liar.
but a liar nonetheless.
I don't know what that means, but I will. Yes.
He's deceptive. He's charming.
The mages call out, everyone going down, please step forward.
Step up to the mages.
Pardon me.
Yeah?
I don't mean to be a bother. We were looking for some friends of ours. They were wearing these cloaks.
I'm like standing behind him and I'm like, see, like this.
They are wearing cloaks.
I'm like,
okay.
lie
I'll give him the
about
description
everything.
of the what it looks like.
Oh,
Have you seen anyone like that come through here with? I think it was 2 Edequathan.
well, when just
a large
three.
one.
A very large Edequathan.
And I turned to
sorry,
win. Bigger than me or smaller?
bigger than you.
A very large Edequathan.
Sorry, that would be the night shift if anybody came
perfect.
through.
Who is that? Are they
You
here?
look like you've
There.
stayed up all night.
We've all kind of stayed up all night, but this tunnel needs to be open still, so.
I wrestled a T-Rex earlier.
What's the T-Rex?
The
The other mage goes,
big dinosaur with lots of teeth.
It's really cool, actually. I'll show you my book later.
When does
Okay, cool.
Come up to the tower
Do I know you?
in a week.
Wrestled you in high school.
when does the night shift get here?
at night.
But it's late afternoon, yes?
Yeah, so like when the sun sets, probably.
Do you have a name that I can talk to?
It's the sun setting.
Let me see. Who was here last night?
Yeah, perhaps this will help you. And I think I have a one last tasty sugar bomb somewhere in here.
Do you? I thought you gave your last a while
I'm
ago.
looking for it.
Unless you restocked.
Why is this not in my inventory?
Did we get any from Fitz's?
No, he gave you mundane candy.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't have any hedge. I have a peppermint candy.
That's right, and it didn't attract
Yeah.
any kids. We were very
and
upset.
a tricky tote sugar bombs. I don't remember what those are.
The tricky toe is they're like random Halloween candies that do sensory
Yeah.
effects and everything.
You know, you're all D20 and they do weird things.
I will give you one of those.
Okay, he takes it. And he's like, okay.
And the silver coin to help exercise your memory.
So Bedrin and Tomoth were
Bedrin.
the two working last night.
Perfect. And if I was to find them just to ask, then maybe they see my friends.
Probably in their home or their dorm.
Perfect. Is there a registrar I could maybe go and speak with to have more information?
Yeah, let me hang on just a second.
Wake up, man! Then I'll slap it.
Here's
another sugar bomb.
He hasn't even taken the first one. He just takes the other one and like puts it in his pocket. But it does wake him up enough. There's a mage college. There's a couple different ones in Salsport. They're not nearly as prestigious as like the Millibracks or Willow Creek Hollow, but there is like a Salsport alma mater, as it were. I'm not exactly sure. What is the name of the college, Colby? I don't have to do this.
It's called Sal State.
Sal State. Yeah. That's basically where like all of the different wizards train in Salsport, and it's a lot of practical magic rather than like magical theory. It's almost like a community college, community wizard college. But there are some dorms around there, and if you wanted to go that direction, you could.
It's the Sal's Applied Technology
Sounds applied to technology.
College.
Applied technology.
SITC.
So, thank you for your information. I'm sorry for slapping you. I was trying to wake you up.
It's okay.
Why don't
I
we
deserve it.
head down and see what we can learn?
Perfect.
And as
So,
we're coming, if we're coming back
like
at
this, I go to slap the guy as well.
Discretion. Okay. Listen to the way he talks. Don't necessarily mimic what he does, because his actions are
My name is Victor.
questionable at
Victor.
best.
Victor.
It did seem rather cruel to slap somebody when you're not actively torturing them.
He did it first.
Do you want me to torture you?
I
Right.
would not
Could
be
we
able-
get in the tunnel?
Do you want me? Get a little something.
The mage is like, yes, please step up with the rest of the group, which has been waiting ever since you started talking to us.
I'm sorry for slapping you. Here's a silver coin.
He's learning.
I should pay for the tooth that I lost, I suppose.
Oh, here's another silver coin.
I've earned a lot of weird
Can I
money
slide of
today.
hand? Can I slide of hand one of those coins out?
The tooth.
Back.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, that's a 3 plus. Let's hope it's high. 16. 19.
Well, you managed to slip a silver out of his pocket. He's definitely like too tired to really even notice.
Okay, perfect.
So you guys step up with the rest of this group. The mages kind of do a almost synchronized, considering how tired they are, and then there is kind of this flush going down. It almost feels like,
It's a splash mountain.
and
We
they
all
go,
swirl.
you're all free to walk through the tunnel. Welcome to the haste loop.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Yeah, I'll go there.
So it's just a normal dry cave. You are going down through basically. It takes about a half an hour, and every about we'll say about 30 or 40 feet, you see a set of rune stones that have been kind of pressed into the wall. And if you like approach one of them, kind of look, you can see that they are like shiftable, almost like they have two sides to them. And each time you step through one, you feel kind of this little sort of like, it almost feels like the tide is pulling you, right? And each time that you do that, you lurch forward. And after about 3 or 4 times,
we could have called it the undertow.
The undertow.
That would have been a cool name for it.
We had to go with haste loop.
I'm going to call it the undertow.
Okay. It's called both. Going one way, it's the undertow. Going the other way, it's the haste loop. After about half of the cave, the normal kind of caverns that you see, the stalactites, stalagmites, turn into a lot more like underwater looking. There's a lot of coral growing on the walls.
So you said there's like the lurch and then there's the ruins, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So maybe as we step past them, they cast haste on you, and that's why it's the haste loop.
It does feel like some sort of accelerant of some sort, or teleportation magic.
Accelerant, explosives.
You're not quite sure. It would take. I mean, if you want to roll a check, you can try and find and glean more information, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I'll do like an Arcana check.
And there are a lot in the second half of these tunnels. There are a lot of like little wading pools that have those kind of like mini biomes. You know, you can stop and watch a crab walk in or go into the water. There's some like fish in there, like a koi pond almost. What was your Arcana?
16.
It feels like it's actually like shortening the distance. It's almost like it's collapsing the space.
Like a tesseract.
Yeah, almost like a tesseract.
Like a wormhole.
Yeah, basically it's like folding space on itself so that it takes what would be a journey from sea level down like 1,000 fathoms or whatever it is.
This is similar magics to what the ships in the Astral Sea use to get around.
Did my ears pop? I rolled an 8 from a con save.
Actually, no. The pressure remains consistent.
I slap your ears.
Now they pop.
Yeah. And eventually, the tunnel opens up again, and you find yourselves on a shelf. Let's see. Kind of like a little...
Is there an elf with us?
There are a few elves here, yes.
Yeah, we have some elves on the shelf.
Eventually, the cavern opens up into a kind of a shelf of stone, surrounded by a shimmering bubble that at first you think is water. The surface ripples like it would if you were staring at the river from above. It doesn't take long to realize that it's not actually a bubble of water, though. It's a bubble of air pushing out from an orb in the center of the shelf that's holding the water back. It's impossible for you to see on the other side as you are kind of looking out of it. It's kind of like just, again, it looks like you're...
ripples.
Yeah, you're trying to look into a river from the top. You know, there's not... The water is churning so much from the great river that you can't really see it. That is until like a small little family of like 3 kind of that came down here for the day. The little boy runs over and he places his hand on the water, and it kind of creates almost a viewport where the water clears, and you see Deepwell. So the family of 4 breaks away, and the little boy running to the edge. Instantly, a second of it stills, spreads out, creating a viewport. You see beautiful coral spires in dark colors twisting up from the seabed, glimmering with bioluminescence in shifting colors and kind of like strobing patterns. Tunnels of air flow through and between these spires and weave around an otherwise barren landscape, only broken up by randomly spaced, shimmering orbs of light that seem to cast a glow downward on what appeared to be manicured coral gardens or large farmstead filled with fish and other sea creatures. Swimming about above these pathways are hundreds of aquatic humanoids of all different types, zipping along the currents that seem to follow the same curves as the tunnels beneath them. As you watch, a pair of Lydae swim up to the bubble that you're at and push through, angling themselves to land on their feet and drench the shelf with a bit of water that quickly dries while the duo heads up the tunnel with a basket of fish between them. And then, so you've got the shelf. You can like walk up, and anytime you touch it, it creates that clear view. You can, as you kind of like look down, you can see other shelves along that have similar bubbles to them. And then there is also a path leading off from the shelf that kind of spirals down that a lot of like the merchant carts have already started taking.
Remind me, the Lydae are the which race?
Otterfolk. They're the same ones as Sylvan.
Or beaver folk. There are
That's
a few
true.
that are like beavers.
That's
And some muskrat.
Yeah, basically that whole family.
Well,
But these ones are otters specifically.
hopefully the city is built as well for air breathers as it is for water breathers. Should we follow the merchants?
It's probably a good idea.
Again, you kind of go winding down back and forth this switchback path. I do love my switchback paths. I do that a lot. But it's basically like down a ramp to a shelf, and each shelf kind of has like maybe a couple merchant stalls, a food cart, that sort of thing. A couple of them look like they're full restaurants that have been carved into the wall. One of them appears to be almost like the bubble cuts halfway through, so you have like an aquatic sitting area on one side, and then a non-aquatic, and you can even see like there is a human sitting and talking to a Triton that's on the other side, kind of sitting in the water one, almost just having a casual conversation.
I want to see what kind of food do they have.
It's a lot of different sushis and sashimis, yeah.
And nigiris.
Yep, and there's some nigiris. Yep. Basically, there's a lot of cold fish. There's not a lot of like cooked stuff, but when there is, it is usually like.
I'm gonna walk over through the wall of water. To the Triton.
Okay.
And do you have anything that would be spicy?
She looks up and she goes,
or poisonous, I guess, would be maybe an underwater thing. I'm not sure.
I'm not. I don't work here. I'm on a date with my friend.
Oh. I thought they were the...
No. There is somebody at the back that's at the bar.
I am very sorry to interrupt, but while I've got your attention, do you recommend anything?
Their kelp wraps are pretty good.
Here's the silver for your time.
Thank you. The two just kind of like look at each other awkwardly.
Bolt is going to run out of silver before long.
He's learning now. The art of negotiation.
I'll keep track of it. -3. Boom.
Yeah.
I'll go up to like, I don't know, there's like a little sushi bar or something.
Yeah, there's like a little sushi bar up there.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Who is it?
This is actually just a human. There's a human on the air side, and then there's actually, you can see that, well, actually, you know what? It's a water Genasi, so they can transfer between the two.
I'm in the water side still.
Okay. Yeah, they'll kind of just like slide over. What can I get you?
I heard the...
Can you speak underwater? I don't think you have...
Humans can speak underwater.
That's true. Yeah, it does come out kind of gurgly. It's enchanted. Why not?
I don't have to breathe.
Yeah.
So, I just make...
You could just as easily be in the air side. This is
I wanted to be in the water
He's
side.
been waiting to use this feature the whole...
I've been wanting to do this, and I also want to partake of the local culture's food in the environment that it was made in.
Sure.
So give me my wrap, damn it.
Okay, one kelp wrap.
Yes, extra spicy.
Extra
you do
spicy.
spicy things in underwater. I don't know. It's my first time here.
Oh, that's a good question. Would an underwater culture do spice?
Or would it be things like mild toxins? Now would be their spice.
That's true. You had like, they're like, so you want it.
Sea urchin.
You want it Etaquathan style?
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes your tongue go numb.
So instead of like 4 chilies or whatever on the menu, it's it'd be what?
3 urchins.
Poison barbs.
Yeah.
4 anemones.
And 1 pufferfish.
Yeah, the Triton definitely takes a pufferfish and cuts out a specific spot and puts it into the wrap and hands it to you.
Yes, like Homer Simpson. It might die in 24 hours. They don't know.
Yeah, so you have a wrap and she got 4 silver.
There you go.
Yeah, do roll me a Constitution saving throw against poison, because Etaquathan biology allows for toxins, but
I have resistance. So.
Yep.
Right, I think
you have advantage. Yeah,
advantage.
you're a Warforged.
Half
Would you say Constitution?
Yep.
21.
21. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I just go. That's pretty good. My compliments to you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. It's kind of hard to tell if it's day or night down here. Do you have a way to know?
Yeah, and she points over at the wall, and there is sort of it almost looks like a seashell, and it's about half lit up. It almost looks like it's reflecting the sun, but without the sun actually there. Those are all enchanted, so you can tell what
good
time
to
of
know.
day.
Here's a silver.
Thanks. Appreciate the tip. She drops it and just kind of slowly spirals it into her tip jar.
She puts it in one of those like spinny thing, or the water one where they float down. You try to catch them with the little.
Yeah.
You only have to give them if you're trying to get information, not every time.
That was pretty helpful information, was it not?
But you're supposed
I
to
would
do
say
it.
that conversation between land and water is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, I'm just like
that couple on the date is having a really rough time, and they're mostly using sign
Wait,
language.
he's like,
Victor's gonna start. He pulls out a silver coin. He points at it, and then he says, like trying to
I'm just like-
figure before, like
what?
You give it to her before.
Alomah's just like, I miss
like-
Aramis.
It seemed like
He
you
would've
gave her
already
gold
backed
or
out of the
silver
situation.
after she gave you the information. You use it as an enticement.
That was good information, though.
But you don't pay for good information unless it's necessary. She seems like an upstanding person. She doesn't need more gold.
I wanted to be nice.
She sticks her head through the bar. Can I get either of you two anything?
oh hello.
Hi.
You really should try this seaweed, this wrap.
Actually,
It's
I just had a
delicious.
question.
Sure.
We're looking for
Roll my Constitution save.
a couple of humanoids, cloaks with golden eyes on the back, traveling with a couple of very large Etquathan.
Oh.
I don't suppose they came through here.
Larger than I am.
Larger than you?
Yes.
We don't usually make Etquathan larger than you.
You make Etquathan.
Do you have?
In the sense of like how people are usually
You
made,
two are rubbing
right?
off on me.
Do you? Well, I'm actually
It
curious.
does
do you
usually
have-
make Etquathan, yes.
Are there other constructs down here?
I mean, they're not. No, not that I know of.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm
a
assuming
shame.
that's a no.
No, I didn't see anybody. There's quite a few Etquathan that come through here. You said that there was a mixed group, though.
Yes, the others were wearing cloaks that had did you say a golden eye?
Yeah, basically on the hood of them. Yeah.
Golden eye on the hooded.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. When did they come through here?
It would have been a few hours ago.
A few hours. I mean, I
Probably
haven't seen
about,
anything yet.
What, 8 hours ago?
Okay, watch. This is how you do it.
If I
Here's a silver. Are you sure there is nothing that you can remember about these people?
She puts it in the normal, just boring tip jar on the air side, and she goes, "No, unfortunately not. Sorry."
Are you sure? Here's another silver.
I take the silver. I'm just like, if we were looking to talk to someone who might be able to help us find someone, do you know who we might go to?
I would say I'd probably start with the ranchers down at the bottom.
The ranchers.
There's a couple farms and ranches pretty close to the entrance of the airways. Wait, what do they call that? Yeah, just need to check.
Near the undertow or something else?
No, the undertow is the tunnel, but the airways that go around. There's a specific name that I gave them.
The brachial tubes of
The joining path is what it's called. Yeah, it basically the separation between air and land. That's been developed so that people can walk down there. If it was a mixed group, they probably would have gone through there, and the joining path really only has one starting point, and there's a couple farms around there.
Excellent. Thank you for your help.
No problem. Anything else that I can get you guys while you're here?
I don't believe so.
Another kelp wrap for the road, please.
Of course. She'll quickly roll you up a kelp wrap. Take another
Does she make it on the water side or the other side?
half and half. She'll like start on the air side for like a lot of like the air meats, like a little bit of chicken in there too, right? And then she'll roll it into the water to soggy up the chicken.
Well, I was gonna say the water probably adds, saltiness to it, right? Like a brine.
Wait, are these rivers salt rivers?
Yes, actually they are.
Oh.
Well, no. They're freshwater rivers.
Are they?
Yeah.
I
It's just
thought
that-
we said they were salty.
No, there's a lot of saltwater creatures that live in here,
Oh,
but they are not. They are not saltwater rivers.
I go taste the water. Is it salt water?
It is not saltwater. It is
it's
regular
regular
water.
water.
Yep. Basically, every creature that has been transplanted into the great rivers that were originally in oceans have all adapted to freshwater, or been force adapted by whatever gods helps create this portion of an area.
I will take my wrap, drop my 4 silver.
Thank you. Have a pleasant day.
You as well. Let's go talk to.
As I walk by the couple, I go, "Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for the recommendation."
You're welcome. I just was really weird, right? Yeah, that robot literally came up and talked to us. What's a robot? I don't know. I just felt right to say it.
The word just came out.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're called now. Robot.
So you can continue down the shelves until you get to the bottom, and there is sort of a large bubble. Again, it's a little bit clearer down here, so you can see like the bioluminescent lights kind of twinkling up overhead, and a couple other fish. Like Bolt, if you kind of like walk over and put your hand on it, you see one of those like anglerfish just kind of floating there, and it spots you and swims away
in the water.
And yeah, so as far as the air bubbles go, like you can press against them and they're pretty sturdy, so like you don't accidentally like fall through them, but like with pressure you can change,
like your intent which can make you go through.
Yep. And you do feel a pressure change as your hand goes through, so but it's like a quick acclimation. It's not just crushing pressure as soon as you push in.
So just to help me visualize what's happening here, there's
let me go get the hose.
There's these airways that act as sort of corridors snaking throughout the city, essentially.
Yep, the big coral spires that you see look like they house different Edequathan buildings, almost like the apartment complexes, that sort of thing. And then there is the joining path, which is the airways that kind of snake through and between these pathways so that land dwellers can walk among them. And then the currents that kind of act as the highways for a lot of the seafaring creatures basically follow these same paths.
Kind of parallel.
Yeah, so as you would walk, you could see like
overhead.
Yeah, people swimming overhead.
Cool.
Yep. And then as far as it goes, it's pretty dark down here except for the bioluminescence. Only lit up every now and then by, it appears to be some sort of like, again, they're kind of these big seashells that have been enchanted with light, and they kind of hang over certain areas and illuminate kind of the sun's rays down onto a farm that has more normal fish rather than the fish of the deep, and a lot more like coral and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to go to like the first farm that we see.
Yeah. So walking down the joining path, you see one. There is an Edequathan woman with kind of a she's wearing a kelp like half skirt, and she's got a band of kelp around her chest that looks more practical than anything else. And she's kind of got sheep's crook, and she looks over at you as you kind of approach. And
does she use the sheep's crook on the fish?
Yes, she is definitely like, there's a tuna that starts like, and they are large tuna that starts like going away, and she just like crooks it back into place, you know. And there are also some like tiny little crabs that are wandering around, but they're the deep sea kind of crabs, so they have like the really long legs and they look really creepy. Seriously, go look up like deep sea crabs; they're terrifying, or deep sea lobsters. But she will notice you, and she'll come on over and expertly kind of spin around so that she dives out through into the joining path.
Like feet first.
Yep. And she says, "Can I help you?"
Yes. Sorry to disturb you, and thank you for your time.
No worries.
We are looking for a friend who we believe might have come through here. I'm wondering, since this is the joining path, do I have that right?
Yes, that's correct.
We thought perhaps you might have noticed them. They were fairly conspicuous. A couple in hooded cloaks with a golden eye on the hood, and traveling with three, was it three?
Yeah.
Three large, very large Edequathan.
And you said the Edequathan were in this part of the joining path?
We think.
Perhaps go this way.
Yes.
Yeah, I did see a couple land dwellers in cloaks coming through last night. I didn't see any Edequathan with them, but that's not too uncommon. Typically, once you get down here, most like to make it into the water.
Of course.
I'd say, I mean, they were a bit odd. I didn't see any golden eyes on their cloaks, but they were pushing a wheelbarrow full of something.
Did they have a woman with them?
Not that I know of.
I don't suppose you know what was in the wheelbarrow.
No, they had it covered.
Was it large enough to hold a person?
Yeah. Did I see a dead body?
I doubt it.
We don't know yet.
She might have just been sleeping.
Oh, well, that's good news, I suppose.
Any idea where they were headed?
Well, it looked like they were headed to the north, which There's only one place that the joining path leads to the north, and that's Mungo's Fall.
Mungo's Fall.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if that's any relation to our
I
Mungo.
don't know.
Mungo.
Mungo.
Oh.
Not Mungo.
Monga.
This fall is a waterfall?
No, it's well, it used to be a historical site. It was where our first hero smote Munga, and the shell is still there of the creature.
Mungo is a sea creature.
Yes.
River creature.
Yes.
I don't
kind
know
of
what a sea
creature?
is. No, I said that.
Actually, you do know what a sea is now, yeah.
What kind of creature?
It was a giant nautiloid kraken. Yeah, big, spiraling shell, that kind of
An
thing.
impressive conquest in that.
Yeah, it was kind of the last big creature that was down here, and it allowed us to settle. So it was a historical site for a while, and then it was purchased by an Edequathan family and turned into an arena of sorts. So I don't really go there anymore. I did when I was a kid, but
Well, we'll make our way there and see if we can find our friends that we're looking for. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course, yeah.
Most helpful.
Give her a silver.
You don't need to. She's a kind person.
Is there anything else that I can help you with? Because if not, I can. And she kind of turns to the side a little bit, and you can see there's 3 or 4 tuna that are almost to the edges of her light.
No, I don't believe so. Go herd your fish.
Excellent, thank you very much. Have a good one. And she's just gonna
You as
slip
well.
back into the water through
Push
the air
my head
bubble.
in. You as well.
And then you see her zip over and snap her jaws at one of the tuna to get it back into position.
She's both shepherd and sheepdog.
Yep.
Was she a Quathin?
Yeah, she was in an Edequathan.
Okay.
Which again, the male Edequathan are large, kind of larger heads, more great white bull sharkish, and then the female are lithe and smaller, but they're very cunning, very intelligent, that sort of thing. Typically,
Tiger sharks.
Yeah, like tiger sharks. Did she have? I think that's what her pattern was.
I'll get on the path going north.
Towards Munga. Sure.
Yeah,
I'm just taking in all the sights.
with the seaweed wrap, the kelp wrap. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
Sometimes it dries out a little bit, and I just in the water.
Yeah, I mean, there's several different paths. There's a bunch of different coral gardens and everything that you guys pass by. It's pretty beautiful down here, surprisingly. Obviously, if you look out into the ocean, you can see a little bit further than what's been cultivated. It turns into very much that deep dark trench kind of there's no plants that grow down here other than what has been forced to grow by these glow lights. And soon enough, you kind of rise up the joining path and you see a large nautilus shell. Large as in double the size of the tower back home, kind of thing. And maybe 5 times as wide, that sort of thing. And you can hear shouts and cheers coming from inside of it. And there's a small line, but there's not too much of a leading up to a Triton with tiger stripe kind of skin. And he takes some money from a couple and ushers them inside, and then you can step up. And he goes, "Hi, the match has already started today, but it's how much did I say here? 2 silver per entry. So
we would like to
Yeah,
see this match.
of course,
2 silvers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand it over.
two. Wynn says, I do not have any money on me.
I will pay for hers.
Okay.
Or theirs. Sorry.
Here's 2 as well.
Perfect. It's just standing room only at this point, but if you can find a seat, good luck, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go in and see if we can see what's going on.
Yeah, so you enter into the arena, as it were, and it is
The air area.
yeah. It definitely is divided air and water. However, all of the water in this air bubble isn't rippling, it's all clear, almost like it's been purposefully set that way. And you can see in the distance is a 3 or 4 large glowing jellyfish, and weaving among them are several Edequathan kind of engaged in it. It looks at first like they're engaged in combat, but they have these. It's sort of like water polo where they have the little crook things, and they're tossing a little
Sea urchin?
a sea urchin.
For each other?
Yeah, and like the ends of the thing are like almost like that sponge, that sea sponge. So like they'll catch it really quick and then they'll flip it off. And you see like one of them ram another into one of the jellyfish, and he like jerks and is shocked out of it and everything, and the crowd kind of goes crazy for it until one of them manages to land the urchin right into a kind of this floating sponge, and it kind of sends it rocking away a little bit. And the crowd
full
cheers.
rules for this game will be right here.
Yes.
Sea Quidditch.
Yeah. Sea Quidditch. Yeah.
They call it Blitzball.
Yeah, there's a tiny little lionfish that's like swimming around, and one person's trying to find it to end the game, which is the stupidest way to end the game, in my opinion. It's worth 150 points.
It doesn't matter what the score is.
It doesn't
just
matter.
Find the snitch.
Yep.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling was not a sports fanatic.
And then she tried to be like, no, it is possible,
Or a
in
game
book
maker.
4,
Yeah.
like to be like, oh, you can catch the snitch, but still lose. But it's like, you don't want to catch the
Why would you catch
snitch
it?
if you're losing. Like,
At that point, like, if you're going to make it worth that much, then Harry should have caught it one time. One time in the whole series because make it super hard to get.
yeah.
Like, the actual skill is in the regular
Yeah,
game.
you play to 100 and you play to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the snitch just gets you there quicker or something like
Yeah.
that. No.
And you did it one time in the finals or whatever,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's just a regular match. You see, there's actually a couple of Tritons that are sitting at the edge. Like one of them's facing each way, and it looks like they're taking bets, basically. But yeah, it's not really.
Is it 100 to 1 bet?
No, it is not.
Corey's not going to make that mistake again.
Never again. Never again.
Well, this is a fascinating game.
It is, but I don't know if it's getting us any closer to Madame Talbane.
It's true. Do you think this arena is magically upheld?
Oh, I'm sure of it. How else would we be breathing on the water?
I just feel very claustrophobic down here. What if it fails? I mean, it collapses on us and then we all die.
We should have picked up some potions of water breathing.
Brawls.
I bet you they
The back
probably-
of Brawl's head tingles a little bit.
If
Someone needs me.
I bet you if you try and buy them down here, they're at a massive premium.
Yeah, but it's better than dying.
That's exactly what they want you to think.
Would you rather die?
I don't know yet.
That's what they get you.
It's like buying water at Warp Tour.
Fair enough.
It's like $12
They
a
know
bottle.
you need it, so anyway, should we maybe ask around the crowd? See if...
I guess a cursory glance. Do we see anyone who is
How about a
fits
guard
our descriptions?
or an employee?
Yeah, there's no one like wearing a cloak that you
Size,
can see.
but size-wise, do we see any Anaquapan that's
there are
standing like that?
yeah, there are none that are like larger
Now,
than.
correct
cloaks.
me if I'm wrong.
A couple about his size.
Generally speaking, persons of ill repute usually not necessarily congregate, but know each other, whether it's personal or otherwise. Would that be correct? I've been reading one of
I
your
think he's insinuating that
one of
you are
your
a person
detective
of
noir
repute.
books that you've only read like 12 pages of.
Because he solves them.
Yeah. You just read. You just
I
flip to
read the
back.
first 10 pages, I make a guess, I go to the last page. If I'm right, I never read the book.
And if you're wrong,
I don't
forget
read
I
it.
asked.
I don't read it because it wasn't worth my time anyway.
But does that sound correct?
Sure.
So
Birds of a feather fly together kind of thing, yes.
that's a pretty good saying. Is those two taking bets? Do they look like they're like sanctioned bet takers, or are they doing it kind of like down low?
Yeah, they look like these booths are set up typically.
Oh damn it! I thought they were like
Shady.
being sneaky and shady.
It's legal gambling.
Are you trying to say that everyone
I didn't say that.
gambles
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, Salsport has a very lax view on gambling, but it's not necessarily like
something that people do often.
Perhaps one of those two persons can help us.
I probably see a lot of people.
They might know where to hire some Etiquathan muscle as well.
That's fair. Perhaps we ask around. I will go ask these gentlemen around and say, "Excuse me, gentlemen. And gentlewoman, if
Here to make a bet?
I actually oh sure, why not? What are the odds?
So
200
do
to
you
1.
do you know who's playing?
I have no idea.
Okay, so there's Rip Snarl.
The second.
Yeah,
Snaggletooth.
Rip Snarl the second. Okay.
and there's
Just
Manglefang.
name off the street sharks.
Rip Snarl and Manglefang.
Manglefang. All right.
And they're pretty much split even. Manglefang's a little bit favored. So.
I'm gonna go with Snarl. I'm
Okay.
kind of biased
Uh-huh.
because I have a knife that's named Snarl too.
Oh, okay.
So,
Alright.
yes, put me down for him.
That's a great way to make a bet. It's based off of the name.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's perfect. I have no idea what his
Also
stats
your
are.
birthday. That's another great
And,
way.
yes, that too. But I did also have a question.
Sure. How much are you putting down, first of all?
I'll play. Why not? I'm a big spender, you know. How is 100 gold?
Yeah, that is a big spender. I'm gonna have to get approval for that. Sorry.
That sounds like a lot of paperwork. 50?
50? Yeah, 50 would be.
All right, 50.
Yeah,
Here's
50.
50.
It requires no paperwork.
But I did want to also for your trouble. Here's another gold piece for you. I want to find some muscle. My friends and I were looking for something, and we've heard that there are some very large Etiquathan that are particularly good at what they do.
Yeah. If you're looking for muscle, I would recommend directing everything towards that guy.
Oh look.
And there is a rather large. He's not like double the size that like Wynn doesn't recognize him. He's actually got a little bit more of a gut than you've seen with the most, and he's sitting in sort of a private booth talking with a couple Etiquathan. Actually, sorry, no, it's a female. It is not a male.
Okay.
It is a female, and she is talking with.
Before I go and speak with them, what is their temperament? Do they like visitors? Are they good at business?
They're very good at business. But I would say just be respectful. They do own the place, after all.
Absolutely. I am
The whole place.
Yeah.
I'm of the utmost respect. I never slap anybody first time I meet them. Here is another gold piece for your discretion. We will never
Okay. Roll me
unless I get wins, then I will be back.
Roll me a D100, please. You're looking for a 43 or lower.
D100. 43. I got a 15.
15. Yeah. So whatever the outcome, your team will win.
Sweet.
Yep. So you'll get 200 gold
200
back.
okay.
Yep.
4 to 1.
Yeah. All right. I will go and approach the. Did they give us a name for this person?
You did not ask for a name. If you'd like to ask for a name,
Pardon me. How should I address them?
I would address them as Madame Giliodi.
Madame Giliodi.
Yep.
I'll kind of motion to everybody else when we'll approach.
Standard act menacing.
Respectful. Be very respectful.
Respectfully menacing.
Respectfully menacing. Yes. Honorable. Yeah.
I appreciate the
When will like copy your
Yes.
stance exactly?
We will make a liar of him yet. Honest liar.
honorable.
Oh, honorable. Sorry. I have a 10 intelligence.
Yeah. So
And I have a 10 wisdom, so.
Madame Giliodi.
So you walk up to the booth, the private section, and immediately two large Etiquathan
And I'll
males
stop.
in the way.
This is in the air where we're.
Mhm, Yep.
Okay.
It is actually in the air, which is interesting rather than it being in the water.
I'll step and I'll bow respectfully.
I am Victor. I am of the 8 Rings. I wish to speak with you.
Victor of the 8 Rings. Interesting. Let him through.
May my companions also come.
Of course.
This is Bolt, and this is Alomah, and this
Nice to
is
This is Preston forgetting.
When?
Win. This is Win because I wanted to call her Luz. Win, he's here.
Nice to meet you. I am Matawa,
Tawa?
though Madame Giliodi would be completely fine. And how can I help such
Yes.
wonderful
surface dwellers today.
Madam Giliotti, I have been referred to you. I've been told that if I was to look for muscle, for people who have a particular set of skills, that you might be able to help.
Yeah, our family has a lot of muscle.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Business must be great.
Oh, it is.
I'm sure.
I mean, look at what we've been able to afford.
That's true. This is a beautiful place. Beautiful.
This is very impressive.
Can you believe that it was wasting away as some historical site until I took it over?
You don't say.
I love what you've done with the place.
There's a bunch of natural
I do as well.
buttresses.
Yes.
Um,
So I've been told.
so, I will cut to the chase.
I do hope so. I do wish to see the end of
Oh,
this.
yes. I spoke with, or I saw a group that seemed that they had found a very large Etekvathan that looked perfect for what we could do. It was bigger than him. Do you know anyone who might be able to...
Three of them.
3 of them.
We saw they were seen topside just last night.
They looked strong.
Roll me a deception check, please, at this point.
Okay. That is a 15 plus... I always go the wrong way. 15 plus deception, 12, so that's going to be 27.
She leans back in her chair a little bit and she goes, very large, you say?
They were magnificent specimens. They looked as though they could lift a mountain.
Well, they wouldn't have happened to be guarding anyone at the time, would they?
Oh, they seemed not important. I mean, maybe with some cloaks or something, maybe an eyeball, but they didn't seem important at the time. I was too distracted by this large, strong Etekvathan.
Is this really about the muscle, or is it about the ones that they were with?
I was curious to find the muscle, but
How many people are in this room?
So, Matawa is here, and then there are the 2 Etekvathan behind her. You can't see anybody else currently, but...
Don't you dare, Spirit Guardian.
you can give me a perception check if you
If
like.
you pop this bubble and we die,
I will mourn your death.
we told Aramis we left,
Yes.
right? You know, just to find
Sure,
our bodies.
we left a note saying that we were going to
Our
Mount
corpses.
Talvains.
We'll find it.
25.
You do notice that there are several shapes kind of hanging above that almost seem to be just like floating in the water above this private bubble. And as you are looking, Matawa leans forward suddenly, like lightning quick, and she goes, "Do not lie to me. What is this about?"
I put my hand on your shoulder. If you would like, I can take this.
literally canon.
You're the liar.
I have said no lies, but I do believe that
Yeah,
there
I
is
don't
a person
believe
of interest, a friend of ours that has gone missing. I'm not hoping to. I have no problems with them, with these Etekvathan, but I do wish to speak with the people who have taken our friend just to understand what it is that they want for this ransom. They left us no note. They did not tell us anything about this.
Thank you for being honest with me. And she leans back, and
I pat
you can
you.
see the other like Etekvathan kind of relax a little
Good job,
bit.
Victor. Yes.
And she goes, "To answer your question, they're not ours. They paid for transit through our area to their little holding that they have just outside of the city.
The cloaked ones.
Yes. However, I will not,
Is the large Etekvathan yours?
if it matches the description I'm thinking of. No.
A rival.
You can say that. Misguided.
We do have some experience with
Perhaps you would be interested
rival
in
gangs.
pointing us in that direction, as our aim is to recover our friend, and perhaps
Perhaps. It also could be lucrative for me as well.
how so?
Do you have money?
Yes, lots of money.
I would like money.
That is not what you
say in a discussion.
How does I look at Victor and I kind of, how does 100 gold sound?
$1 million.
Sounds like I could make that much just in betting. It's gonna
Victor's
have to
going
be-
my guess.
It's going to have to be a little bit more than that.
How about, wait, you says it's your competitor.
How much
No.
gold? Hey, how much gold came from your friend's place?
Can they be convinced?
It's like 700, wasn't it?
It
I
was.
assume we get a discount if we take out the rival.
No rival.
600.
Like I said, they're misguided.
600.
I did business with them.
Is there a
after all.
way for us to convince this person to come into your fold? Perhaps a little persuasion on our part.
I don't think you're going to be able to convince those fanatics of anything.
Would you rather them be dispatched? I mean, look at me. That's what I do. We could drop.
You are an assassin. Or at least that's the rumors I hear about the Onyx Wing. Look, it doesn't matter to me who they are. Their coin was good, and I let them through. If your coin is just as good, you can go as well.
What is your price?
5,000 gold.
If we... Bite your jowls.
5,000 gold.
5,000 gold for safe passage for me, my friends, and the return passage.
Return passage. Give me a persuasion check.
That would be a 12 plus persuasion. That was a plus 7. 19.
Yeah, I think we can arrange return passage as well.
And how about this? 2,500 gold. And I will owe you a favor as a member of the Eight Rings.
He has magical contracts as well.
I was going to say, and we don't kill you. I say that under my breath.
She doesn't hear that. Sharks don't have very good hearing. I think that would be acceptable terms. Having a member of the Eight Rings owe me a favor sounds quite nice.
Now, I must say that it is me and not the Eight Rings that it would be a favor from me and not from the Eight Rings themselves.
One of you is usually enough.
It is true. If this is a bite, I have a standard contract here.
I fill in that blank.
Like an ad lib. Like a ad lib contract.
Person, place, or thing.
I need an adjective.
Yeah.
Here's the gold, and I'll pull out 2,500 in the bag of gold, and kind of weigh it in my hand, and
I have the gold ready if you are ready to sign.
And she kind of points to the table in front of her. You can send it all
I'll
down.
set it on the table. But I will keep the bag of gold in my hands until it's signed.
Yeah, and she'll lean forward and she'll actually prick on one of her teeth, her thumb, and she'll sign her name.
Okay, I'll pull back, and I will sign my name
You
as well.
also.
Sure, I'll
On her teeth. Here, let me borrow that for a sec.
I'll use one of my blades, and then
Okay.
and then I'll roll it up and
And a court. Here's your gold.
And she again just points to the table, and you set it down, and then
I'll set it
she
down.
nods to another one of the other Quathan will come over and pick it up and take it.
And then I'll take the scroll and put my magic.
Hopefully that ink is waterproof.
Retiring.
That's true.
And another Quathan male kind of comes rumbling up. Be it dear, and please take them to our usual transport. They're heading towards the Hollow.
And that was Atari.
Oh man, this is...
Another Hollow.
No, this is where all the Hicks, the Quathan, choral
Dueling
trash.
banjos.
That's the bayou.
And he nods and he just starts marching away. She goes, I do hope that you swing by soon, and I will call on you when I am ready, Victor.
It has been a pleasure.
Madam, and he didn't stop.
Gileadi.
Madam Gileadi, it has been a pleasure.
Of course.
Look at me remembering names.
I know, right?
writing
Squeak
stuff
it.
down.
Yeah, no book.
I wrote it down. I just wrote it
year and a
in
half.
chicken scratch. So
I appreciate it.
Actually, it took me longer than that if you go back to Broken Spear.
That's true.
that's true.
It's been like 5 years.
Yep. Yeah, so you are ushered out. She gets back to watching the end of the match, which is, again, your Rip Snarl wins. So you're able to...
I'll pick up the bag.
You're able to pick up the 200 gold on the way out.
Gentlemen and woman.
Mhm.
Assuming there's one, right?
At least one person here is a woman. Yeah. And then, yeah, so... what did I say it was?
We're going to
Indiri?
the name of the person who's following
Assistant.
Yeah.
Atari.
Itari. Yeah.
This is what I heard. Or it was Katari or
It was
Atari.
Itari.
Itari.
I heard Atari as well.
It's probably fake. I'm gonna look back and realize what the real name is, but we're changing it to Itari.
Itari.
now. Yep.
Katara.
And he's going to just kind of like lead you down the beneath the shell itself to this kind of underground cavern. You see that there are a bunch of very large like manta rays just kind of like swimming over each other, skimming along the bottom, that kind of thing. And he lets out kind of an underwater whistle that seems to almost like carry, like one of those dolphins that blows the air ring, and it goes over and hits one of them, and it veers off immediately and comes over and kind of settles down, and he just waves his hand.
It's a neat trick.
Basically, you guys are at the edge, and he goes, I hope you guys can hold your breath.
Wait a minute. I didn't say this.
How long is the ride?
The hollow's about 20 minutes away.
I pull the ring off of my tail, and I hand it to Bolt, and I say, "Would you mind? Just put it on." And I say,
Is it cursed?
"No, it's
You have
not.
one too many curses right now.
Just put it on your finger.
Are you sure? I don't.
I'm positive. Trust me."
Okay, I will slip it on.
And then I'm going to disappear into my ring
Okay.
and say, before I do, I say, "I'll be able to tell when we're somewhere I can breathe again. But I hope you're able to make it with us." And I just disappear inside the ring.
Bag of
How much
holding
air is
only
in the
has
bag of holding?
10 minutes of air.
10 minutes of air.
I'll get in the bag of holding.
You can hold.
Wait, I can't because I've got a bag of holding.
You can hold your breath for, it's like Constitution,
Which is like negative. Hold on, I think
You get a warm embrace from Podrick inside
Yeah,
to bring
it's
it
been
back.
a- it's been a long
it's
time.
been a little bit there.
and I can be in there for 10 hours.
Okay. You can't bring anybody with you?
Not until
Not
it's
until-
like level 10, I
Okay,
think, or
alright.
something.
Crowbar.
Like it's like Warlock level something, and I'm not planning on taking any
No, yeah.
Warlock level, so
Hmm.
it might be
Trying to see if I
6.
have any spells.
No, that's when you can fly. I can't remember. Anyway,
Hit iron doors.
Victor,
if you want to let me,
you're not
bring
gonna
him,
like
I'll
this.
do it.
No.
But I can bring you back to life.
What does that mean?
If you don't make it. Oh well, so let's see. That's
Okay.
it's a
Look
minute,
up.
right?
It's up.
Yeah, you have basically 11 minutes at this point. This is secured.
Actually, okay. Can I retcon something?
What would you like?
Would you allow me? I don't think this is rules as written. But would you allow me to stick Victor in and not go myself, just as long as like it's only one person? Do you know what I mean? Like,
What does the feature specifically say? Does this just say you, or
it
does
says
it
you.
Okay.
It
yeah.
says.
I've got another idea.
I'll read
actually.
it to you.
Okay.
Wait, if you hold my bag of holding,
I can hold, and you can get in yours or mine. There's roughly 10 minutes of air. However, if you are much smaller, you use a lot less air.
that is fair.
That's actually
and
accurate. I
listen,
suppose.
we can double the air. You put the two bag of holdings close to
No,
each other,
bad idea.
and then I can jump.
Get real close and I just go,
One of them falls into the other one
You
on
just-
accident.
I'm out of air, and you just see me go. into the next one.
from deep well, there's just Oops.
If you want
If
to,
you're very small, use a lot less air.
I think that's
All right.
probably our best bet.
I can reduce.
Please
I can
hold
do
my bag
reduce.
of holding. Don't lose it.
As an action, you can
Win
magically
will take it.
you can magically vanish and enter your vessel.
Okay.
Which
Yeah, it
remains
just
in
says
space,
yeah,
yeah.
it just says you. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
fine. I'll get
Win
my
will
bag.
take the bag of holding if you offer it. She said, I can hold on to it for you.
Are you going to put it in your abdomen like all the other stuff I've given you?
No.
Okay.
And
I'll
she
give
takes
it to her
it
slowly.
or they take it and they just put it over their shoulder.
All right, Bolt, I'm ready.
Technically only lasts for a minute.
That's
Enlarge reduce.
Yeah.
damn it. I thought it would last longer.
I'm trying to find the
So,
rules.
I'll get in the
on
back, but when
holding
I'm
it.
trying to get out, all you'll see, this is going to be a Jim Carrey moment when my face is going, I need air. Let me out. As I push out of the
Where
back.
is it? It's in the Dungeon Master Guide. I can't find it in D&D Beyond.
Are you sure you don't have any potions of like, not fog cloud, but the one that turns like into mist or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at my I swear I had like a water breathing at some
Because
point. That
I
might have
can
been
wild
before.
shape, and I can wild shape into a creature that has a swim speed now.
Yeah, you could.
Which is
But-
why I was saying,
yeah.
can I stick him in the thing?
If you're willing to use one of your precious wild shapes
I know. That's tough.
and hand me an epic die,
Oh,
I
right.
will allow this.
So here's what I'll do. I will I'll tap on the ring and be like,
Patrick, I have a favor to ask.
Oh.
I know this is a bit unusual, but we're in sort of dire straits. I'm wondering if my friend Victor might be able to accompany you inside the ring for 20 minutes or so, if he promises not to touch anything. If he promises not to touch anything.
I won't touch anything. Does the floor count?
The cushions, the couches.
Cushions. You have cushions.
Yes, it's, well...
Oh, that's right. It's a genie's bottle.
It's a die, yeah. So you get a feeling of like, almost like Podrick wants to judge Victor, so you would need to hand him.
yeah. I'll hand the ring to Victor.
The
and say,
penitent man
is-
bows.
He is honorable.
You performed the
And he is
the weeping
seeker of
swordsman
truth.
play.
Yeah.
For him.
Victor, put on the ring, would you? Now roll me an insight check.
Ring goes on, ring goes off. Ring goes on, ring goes off.
You are now invisible.
I am doing
Which race are
which
you?
check? I'm sorry.
Insight.
Insight is going to be 25.
25. There's a moment, and then you get this feeling like the ring's done with you. You should head it back to your ring. And you get a feeling of warmth. Acceptance.
I appreciate it.
I say,
I swear on my honor, I will not touch anything except the floor and the cushions.
I'm not exactly sure how this works. When I do it myself, it sort of comes naturally.
and I just take it and I like hold it up to his forehead.
The ring expands and like encompasses him and just like pulls him in.
Victor like yelps and then
There's this point where your feet are sticking out and
Yeah.
and you get sucked in.
I say, excellent. If you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Put that on and
And then I am
hold on
going
to
to
if I shout in there, can anyone hear me outside of it?
We'll get to what you see in there in a moment.
I'm going to wild shape.
be quiet in your Pokeball.
I'm going to wild shape into oh gosh, I had it picked out. It's a shark.
Some potions.
A reef shark.
Oh, nice.
Seems fitting. And I'll like jump into the water, and like as I do, I'm like transforming
Okay.
into a shark.
That was cool. This is a theory.
I agree. I've never seen him do that before. Well, anyway, on the ray, correct?
Yes. And then Wynn will hop in next to you, and she'll like take her shield off of her back and kind of hold it closer to her to give her the resistance.
It's a good thing
And then he goes,
Aramis isn't here.
and the ray flows off and hits basically. You have to step into the water basically on the ray, and then it goes off and starts trailing downward and away. Victor.
I'm just like, wow.
You kind of flow through almost nothingness, as it were, until you arrive in a large, twisting set of tunnels that is just inlaid with ore and gems, like all along it. There's only one way that you can really go. The other way appears to just be a black void.
I will look around and I'll smell the air.
It smells like very, very fine spices and a little bit of like an earthy scent underneath it.
I was told I could only touch the cushions and the floor. I will find the cushions. And then I will smell whatever way smells the more, or smells better. I'll take the Gandalf approach.
Okay. Yeah, so you just wander through the tunnel, and eventually it does open up into sort of a spacious room. There are several men and women in very not revealing clothing, but very like risque clothing, as it were. Yeah, scandalous. And they are kind of just like standing around holding various trays and everything as you walk in, and sitting on, and there's a bunch of like cushions, incense kind of flowing through the air. Podrigs, did you decide on a gender for them?
He's male.
He's male. Okay. And then like one of the curtain, there's kind of these diaphanous curtains, and it opens up and it reveals a very handsome looking, well built male with kind of brownish skin.
Have you ever
It's
said Podrick out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or have you talked to Podrick?
You did just now.
Yeah.
You were just talking.
Okay,
to him,
okay.
yeah, so, and the curtains part, he's got kind of like dark skin. It almost looks very stony. He's wearing just like a pair of like green pantaloons, as it were, and he actually has 4 arms. He's got 4 stone arms, and they both sets clap together, and he goes, "Welcome, Victor."
I believe you are the great Podrick.
Yes, I am the great Podrick. Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting me in your home. I was not aware it was here.
Of course. Can I interest you in some wine, some grapes?
I was told not to touch anything, but
You passed the test, but you could go ahead and have some stuff while you're in here. It's okay. Alomah is very particular about wanting to make sure that that I am well taken care of, and I do appreciate him for it. But you might as well enjoy yourself while you're in here. So you had a question for Podrick. You were asking him something about time, perhaps?
Podrick, I assume time in here is the same. Do I need to worry about?
Yeah, 20 minutes in here will be 20 minutes out there as well.
And it does say that you can like see and hear sort of the environment outside.
Okay.
of the
Victor,
vessel.
are you okay in there?
Kind of rumbly, yeah.
Oh, he's yelling so loud.
Now you know how I live. Oh, actually. And he just like reaches over and he goes like this, almost like he's turning down the volume now. Now, Victor, while I do appreciate you being here, and you are the sort that I definitely would like to get associated with, and if Alomah trusts you, I trust you as well. I do have to say that this cannot be a regular thing.
Right.
My
Understand.
my vessel is not meant for mortals to tread in very often, and Alomah is the exception to this rule.
Victor will look down at his shoes and like slowly take off his boots, and then
I appreciate
and
that.
like kind of set them neatly at the doorway. And
Now, have you ever had any dealings with my kind before?
I cannot say that I have. This is the first.
Well, typically my kind enjoys the finer things. Gems, jewels, gold, that sort of thing. Or if that is not the case, then the services of others, and he kind of waves his hand around at the various servants, serving you specifically, like dates and grapes and nuts and stuff right
and
now.
Victor's like doing everything like he can to like just be like, don't eat anything, don't touch anything, don't eat anything. He told them I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't touch anything.
So typically I would require a sort of payment for this sort of thing. Again, not from Alomah, but from many others. I would say, because Alomah is your friend, and because you are being very truthful and agreeing to his wishes here, a single truth, perhaps one that you have not told anyone yet, might suffice.
A single truth.
Yes. You don't have to say it out loud. And he kind of waves his hand, and one of the
really
servants
should.
brings over a small little like it's almost like a stylized bottle that looks like we'll say it looks like a dagger.
Okay.
And he says, if you would like, you could whisper it into this, just for me to hold on to.
Okay. I'll bite.
And I'll send it to you in Discord.
Okay. Yeah, so you can pop the cork off of that, kind of whisper something in there, and then put it back on. Excellent, wonderful. Well, we have about 20 minutes. Again, if you'd like to partake in anything. Otherwise, I can conjure up some entertainment, that sort of thing.
I think
You accidentally sent it to the whole group.
Whoops.
Sweet.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, dang it. I was going to look.
It hasn't even been sent yet.
I think at this point I am much in your debt. I will be not more than a spectator. How about this as well? I know a mean weeping swordsman. If you'd like, I could show you.
Absolutely.
I even have costumes.
Really?
Yes.
I will put mine away. And he waves off the servant that was coming around with the box of costumes.
Preston finally gets to be a bard.
You don't have your bag of holding, though, do you?
No, I'll go to my bag of holding. Go.
You do.
I do
Because
have a bag of holding.
Yeah, because you didn't have to jump into a bag of holding.
Oh, that's true.
And this doesn't count as...
This doesn't count extra.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll reach in my bag of holding and pull out the traveling cloak.
And
Cloak and
the hood, the mask.
The mask.
You'll find
And-
that it's actually pink.
You slipped in the wrong
It's been dyed pink.
Yeah, because
I did the laundry one day and I just threw it all together.
All together.
all he usually has to say is cloak, and it's just the only cloak in there, but now the pink one is in there, so it's...
No, not that
50-50
one. Cloak and the pink
Other
one.
cloak.
Yeah.
Other cloak. They're both pink.
Okay, so while that's happening, Alomah, you're experiencing underwater travel for the first time.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, I feel so sleek.
You do... Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Like an Olympic swimmer
Yep.
That's
with illegal costumes.
20.
Swimming suits.
20? You definitely do pick up the scent. It seems like something is bleeding. Not too far away, some animal. Yeah.
Bruce and
Fish are friends, not food.
His eyes go black.
Yeah, just pure black. So what would you like to do? Would you like to follow that scent, or are you just going to stay on target?
Let's see, I can't speak. And I can't cast spells. So,
Juicy secret.
I'll just kind of look at Bolt. Man, how do I communicate this? Shark sign language.
I'm very fluent in it. So.
It's just left shark dance.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen it, go look at Left Shark. That's Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, from a Super Bowl halftime show like
Totally.
6 years ago or whatever.
I'll follow the blood scent
'Kay.
briefly,
All right.
just to kind of see if I can see where it's going.
Wind just gives you a shrug. Not sure where they're going.
Well, I hope he makes it to where we're going.
Do you full on
I
Bruce?
hope
Like
we
your
make
eyes
it
roll
to
back?
No,
in your head?
I mean I keep my personality and everything. Like I don't become like
I never
a
asked,
shark
do you
mind
need to
or
breathe?
anything.
No, I do not.
Oh, good. This would be very awkward if you did.
Yes. It would.
She's like,
Cern dies.
they're like,
It's not too
Yes.
far away.
Okay.
It's a couple minutes, and you come around and you see there's just sort of a... it's just like a wounded... Not a pufferfish, but... we'll say it's a wounded octopus.
Okay.
Or a deep sea squid or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
All
wounded.
right. I'll go back
Okay.
to the.
Alomah wouldn't take a bite? I mean, Alomah eats raw food all the time.
No, he
And-
doesn't like seafood
and
very much.
Calamari is good.
No, not a big seafood fan. Red meat mostly.
I mean,
Fine.
squid are usually red.
Fine tuna.
Not this one. This one was like clear.
No, was it tuna?
Although the shark is making it seem a little more appealing, but he's.
It's like Animorphs.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of the
Yeah.
animal like instinct.
Gonna stay as a shark for too long.
2 hours. That's all you get, Tobias.
Okay. So after about 20 minutes or so, the water starts clearing. You kind of like come in behind the manta ray. Obviously, like you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
You pick up a remora or two, just cleaning the underbelly, that sort of
Right.
thing. And eventually, you kind of come around this turn in this kind of underwater canyon almost, and you see something up ahead. And at first, you think it's another nautilus shell, but then you kind of spot it, and you think it's a little odd that this shell has petrified tentacles kind of coming off of it. But you realize that you are actually staring at the deck of an interesting looking ship. One with a sort of squid theme to it. And as you three with Victor inside the Dow approach it, that's where we're going to end tonight. Thank you everybody so much for joining us. I had a wonderful time, and we have some interesting things coming. For example, how is Aramis going to get here next time? I've got to figure that out.
Will Victor be able to survive the ride back? A third thing?
A third thing, yep. But thank you so much for joining me. You guys specifically. I usually thank the audience, but I want to thank you as well. I always love running these fine little games, especially when it's one that you just have to bear with a lot of role play with. So
There's no bears in the water.
No.
Or is there?
Water bears.
Owl bears.
They're
giant tardigrade
bears.
Bear sharks.
Giant tardigrades. Water bears.
Yep. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Syrinscape. They do wonderful little noises. So wonderful that Scott didn't even know they were...
Thought they were the dog.
No, they were the dog.
But it's just whale sounds,
No,
so
yeah.
tells you what my dog sounds
And ring that dinger. Ring the dinger. Join Discord. Check out the streaming on Friday. Go check out a couple weeks ago. Victor, you did an amazing job. And by Victor, I mean Preston. I do that all the time.
That's okay. He walks downstairs and he's like, "Hey, Bull, have you taken the trash out?" I mean recycling.
Yeah. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, guys.
Happy holidays.
Alrighty.
I've never done like a full underwater thing. And
I'm so glad that I got to use both Wild Shape to actually transform into a beast and my Genius Vessel in the same episode.
It's true.
Give yourself inspiration, by the way.
Oh,
That was a good way
Does
to...
anybody not have inspiration?
anybody not have
I
inspiration?
have inspiration.
Yeah, we all got it last time, and then we didn't have any combat.
That's
true. Yeah.
But yeah, that
are we switching to table inspiration or keeping regular?
We're keeping our regular one for now. Sorry, what were you saying, Preston?
No, I was just saying I swore that I had a potion at some point of it, but
I thought you had one of like Gash's Cloud. That might have been. that was me, I think. And I think I used it.
Well, I thought at some point
in the Air Temple.
Yeah.
I might be thinking of a different campaign because I remember at some point I had a potion of water breathing because my person couldn't swim and they couldn't figure. It was like a character.
And of course, I didn't take any water breathing spells because that's just that spell that's like when you need it,
don't need it,
it's great, but you need it like once a campaign.
So what we just need to do is just sleep on the deck.
I mean, I love that. I'm like, okay, at Aquathan, they're going to go to Deepwell. Maybe one of them will think about picking up some aquatic items or potions. Nobody did, and then I'm sitting there like, okay.
Yeah, when Victor's stingy.
It looks like we're gonna have to figure this out.
When Victor's stingy, because like he comes down and that whole thing's going through his mind. He's like claustrophobic. He's kind of like, okay, like if the magic stops here, like if there's a null magic sphere here at any point in time, we're all dead.
Yeah,
we're dead.
Yeah, that's why I was like, no, I'll be fine. I mean, you might be dead.